Again, we're going to have several rotating thunderstorms. We're going to have several, if not more than a few, tornado warnings underway. Look at the shot here of the wall cloud now. Let me show you what's going on with that shot. Let's take Tom's shot full screen here, folks. And let's take this full screen. I'm going to kind of dissect this for you. Here's what's happening. See how this is being pulled in from the right? That's being pulled in from the east. And the rain core, right? This is rain-cooled air being pulled in. And then on the left side, it's all coming in this way. This thing is spinning like a top. This is going to be your tornado warning now. This is going to be northwest of Snyder. This is going to be in southwestern Oklahoma. And this is going to be northeast of Altus. But there's your developing wall cloud. Tom is there. Let's get an update from Tom Pastrano. And Tom, I tell you what, the wall cloud, the cigar cloud is a few hundred feet off the ground, but the wall cloud looks like it literally is almost on the ground. Give me an update, Tom, on what you see. Is the tornado on the ground right now with that tornado warning? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, David, I don't see a tornado on the ground, but there's insane motion. Actually, you know what? I see some dust right now. There could be something on the ground. We're going through some hills, so I'm going to get a better vantage point, but there's really some insane motion right now. And it all happened within like 5 to 10 minutes. It went from almost nothing to just what we have right now. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Explosive development in southwestern Oklahoma. Tom is right there. He's in some hills. He'll get a high spot. We'll be able to see it here. So let's, control room, I'll tell you what, let's leave his shot, or let's put it over here to the left. And wow, look at that. Okay, just hang on to this shot just for a second here. Just hang on one more time. This whole thing, this is spinning. If he were to stop, he's trying to get back in position. This is spinning so hard left to right, it'd make your head spin. And now we're starting to see, look how low the wall cloud is. I mean, I get it, he's below a hill here, but we have the cigar cloud coming in from the right? That's going to be rain-cooled air being pulled in, warm, moist air coming in from the east and southeast and south, and it's all coming together right here. And from my hand up is a column of spinning air that runs 20, 30, 40,000 feet up into the atmosphere. That is the mesocyclone, which is right here. There's the left side under the mesocyclone. There's the right side, and it's spinning so hard, so fast, that it's now pulling in moisture from the south, from the east, and from the northeast, and that is the beginning of your wall cloud. But what happens is when it's spinning so hard and tight like it is, you'll start to get little spin-ups or little brief spin-ups underneath the wall cloud, and boom, you can get a tornado. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get a tornado here at any second. So another shot there, great shot from Tom. I'm looking for a tornado in here. Very, very tight area of spin here, kind of on the left side of the wall cloud. Lots of motion going on here. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go to Links 3, control room. Let's do Links 3. And I want to point out, we do have storms in northern Oklahoma. These are not severe, okay? We're watching them. We have thunderstorms now to the west of Oklahoma City. These are along the cool front. The storm down here is out ahead of the cold front. This is a supercell. That is a rotating thunderstorm. Val's coming in from the east. Tom's right there. And then from there, it's going to head up towards Jeremy. It's going to head up towards Anadarko. But that is a big, gnarly, nasty, rotating thunderstorm. There's the hook. And that's what the hook looks like in in Tom's shot. Jim Gardner, he's down here as well. But we now have what we call a low-level lock. We have a mid-level lock, and then we have a low-level lock. So the radar is saying, boom, we have spinning at 15,000 feet, 20,000 feet, and now it's worked its way down to the lower levels, which is our problem, right? It's just a few thousand feet above the ground where we have very, very fast motion. There you go. News 9 tornado warning. So there it is now. All right, so here's the deal. You folks in Roosevelt, go ahead and go to your safe spot, okay? From Roosevelt up to Cooperton, you need to be thinking where to go. And here's the deal on this. It's not moving at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's not crawling along. It's 45 miles per hour. It is moving. A lot of storms that we have in the spring. March, they move this fast, but the jet stream in October is so fast that these storms are hauling their shear rate, okay? We're starting to see area of spin now, and it's going to be north of Centerville. It's going to be northwest of Mountain Park. Max rotation is right here, just on the western sides of Tom Steed Reservoir. And a lot of folks camping out, having a picnic, doing whatever at the lake. You got to take shelter. You have to take shelter at the lake. There's your problem. Developing wall cloud, possibly developing tornado, and this is going to go right over the lake. Okay, now here's another problem. Tennis ball to up to baseball size hail now from Roosevelt back down to southeast of Warren. Damaging hail in here. Okay, that's going to go to Roosevelt, I think, Roosevelt, you're going to get trashed. And then from Roosevelt, it's going to go on to Cooperton. And then from there, folks, it's just going to keep going. Look at the hail path in here, hail swath. This is what the hail's done. And the darker the color, going to the black, going to the white, it is a big, big damaging swath of hail, doing a tremendous amount of damage in here right now. It's happening right now. All right, moving to the northeast at 45, again, miles per hour. So once again, tornado warning. This is going to be a tornado warning for you folks in far southwestern Oklahoma. Here's Mangum. Okay, we're going to back out of this just a second. Let's get our bearings straight here. And this is going to be for Kiowa County. Here's Hobart. This is going to be for far southern Kiowa County. You folks in Hobart, you're not going to get the tornado. It's going to be to your south, but you folks in southern, eastern Kiowa County, western, southwestern Caddo County, from Carnegie back down to northwestern Comanche County. You are under the gun now with this tornadic supercell that's racing northeast at 45 miles per hour. So Val now is coming in from the northeast. And again, Tom is right there looking right at it as this storm continues to push in from the southwest at, again, a high rate of speed. All right, let's go to Lynx 4. We'll do a storm track and take a look at this now. And again, these are going to be some of the cities that this is going to impact as we get into the next half hour to 45 minutes. And we're looking at Roosevelt at 550. Okay, we're almost there. All right, and then we've got Carnegie at 629. Let's say Fort Cobb at about 639. Cyril at 650. Anadarko, which is going to be 651. Anadarko, 651. You've got about an hour, okay? It's moving at 45 miles per hour. All right, then we're looking at Binger, 656. Lake Chickasha at about 7 o'clock. All right, now I want to point out, see this storm here? This is scary as well. Why? It's a small, wimpy storm, not doing much, but the environment that these storms are in is very conducive to rotate, very conducive to produce tornadoes. And what's going to happen is either this is going to take off or that storm is going to become so big and gnarly that it's going to pull this thing into it and suck it in and eat it. It's probably going to happen because this thing has really just punched a big hole in the atmosphere. Right now, it's all updraft. Everything's going from down to up, no doubt about it. And then downstream, everything is falling back down. But I mean, that is a hole in the atmosphere right now. The velocities in there are incredible as this thing is lifting to the north. And again, talking about the velocities, lifting straight up into the atmosphere. All right, another storm down here we'll keep an eye on. Nothing too scary out of that. Okay, nothing crazy out of that. Right now, this is the only game in town. This is back here along and behind the cool front. So I feel pretty confident this could be strong or severe. It just went severe, which is good. Wind and hail. But this is the supercell that we are watching again right now. All right, so here comes Val in from the east. Let's get a Tom Pastrano shot. He's right there. It's right out his front window. Let's get an update from Tom on the rotation. And it looks like it's trying to localize, it's trying to center up, and it's trying to tighten up, it looks like. Tom, go ahead, give me an update down near Roosevelt. Tornado warning continues for that shot right there. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, this rotation is getting a little bit better organized than it was. It was pretty broad, but it's trying to tighten up just to our west, probably about 2 or 3 miles to our west. It's some fairly significant rotation. I don't see anything on the ground. We did have some pretty significant dust earlier, about 5 minutes ago, but I don't see that anymore. But this wall cloud is really rotating pretty strong. Wouldn't doubt here in the next 10, 15 minutes that we have something come out of it. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tom. And rotation on velocity data, by the way, we'll take a look at that coming up. And looking at shear rate, looking at all the parameters we look at. And this is the left side of the wall cloud. All right, this is going to be the right side. So this is going to be spinning from right to left. And if you just sit here for a second and you watch that and you try to pick out a point down here in the sky and kind of watch it, you'll see everything down here is lifting and then folding back to the top. So remember, from here up is a deep, deep, deep mesocyclone. Again, 20, 30,000 feet up. This thing is going all the way, and it is spinning, all right? And as you get higher in the atmosphere, the winds increase with height, okay, as you get farther up. And that's exactly what's going on with this. But this thing is wrapping around here as of right now. We have not had a tornado on the ground, but that tornado warning, yes, does continue for that storm. And Tom is right there looking right at it. Looking right at it. So very impressive. And then here, look to the right. Look at the feeder band. Oh, this is really cool. Okay. Okay, so here's the wall cloud. Look at that shot there that Tom has. Okay, look at the feeder band coming in from the north. Tom, Let's get Tom back in here one more time. I tell you what, that is a tree hugger feeder band. And I mean, it is pulling everything in from the north. Look at the feeder band that is coming in on the north side of that. Tom, is that just ripping from right to left into that mesocyclone on the underside?
Yeah, that's right. It's going over those hills right now, but it is, the motion in all of these clouds, including this wall cloud, is pretty incredible. Just above the surface, maybe about 1,000 or 2,000 feet. We're just waiting for it to kind of hit the surface right now. We don't see it yet. The inflow has really increased also significantly in the last 5 minutes. Back to you.
All right, great job, Tom. Looking good, and what a shot it is. So that's not the wall cloud right there. That's the inflow band that is ripping from northeast to southwest back into this. Now, remember, what's amazing? Okay, so the storm is racing northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is moving southwest at 45 miles per hour, being pulled into the mesocyclone. All right, just incredible. Now, Tom's going to have to reposition. It's moving so fast. It's not a day where you can sit and talk and, yeah, that's not going to happen on these days. You've got to keep moving, got to keep ahead of this. That's exactly what Tom is going to do. Let's go back to Lynx 3. We'll do a storm track and see what's going on. Okay, Lynx 3 is fine. We'll take a look at it here. And Lacey is doing kind of a volumetric scan of this storm. We're going to take away some of the green here, and I'll show you what the mesocyclone looks at, and it's going to be tilted, right? This is the mesocyclone in 3D mode. Take it all away. Look at that storm, right? Look at that storm. And see up in here? See how, look right here. You could go up inside of this, inside the vault, and look, there's the mesocyclone right here. There's the right side of the mesocyclone. There's the left side, and that's upwards, what, 20, 30,000 feet up?
Yes, 35.
35,000 feet. There's your mesocyclone. It goes up, it goes downstream, and then there's your downdraft out ahead of it. But look at that. That's impressive, folks.
And the hail with this, David, just continues to strengthen. The hail core keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It's getting higher and higher in the atmosphere, and the stones are getting bigger and bigger.
What was the report you had earlier? We had quarters at Altus.
Quarters at Altus, but that was way down the line.
Way earlier.
Yeah, that was a lot earlier, yeah.
Anything bigger? Anything showing up?
So far, no official reports coming out of it, but I think it's only a matter of time for folks in Roosevelt, once they have time to come out of their shelter, out of their safe spot, and take a look.
Yeah, it's going to be, no doubt about it. Tennis ball, maybe some baseballs. Okay. Let's go back to reflectivity. Let's bring it back down. Let's stay with Lynx 3 if that works for everybody.
We did have a gust of 79 at Jackson.
Okay. Okay. Gust of 79. Okay. Out of this storm. Look at the hail core now. Roosevelt, I tell you what, I think they're just getting hammered right now in Roosevelt. All right. So pushing northeast. There's our hook. And very, very impressive now. The hook is coming right over Tom Steed Reservoir. There's Tom. He's headed eastbound. Val's coming in from the north. And let's go to Val's shot. Let's get an update from Val. And this is going to be, okay, velocity data. Okay, we'll take a look at that too coming up. Let's get to Val here. And Val, I'll tell you what do you think? There's a lot going on, a lot coming at you and a lot moving away from you, but the whole storm is headed your way. Look at the motion in there, Val.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can even see the motion, David, in our shot in real time. But that whole area, that whole part of that base right there, that wall cloud, if you will, is rotating. It's got, I would say, strong but broad scale rotation. It's a very large rotation. At the moment, I don't see anything super tight right in the middle, but man, I tell you, as fast as that thing is rotating, David, it could easily spin one up. It wouldn't take it no time to tighten up, I'm thinking. But that is to our south-southwest, and it's moving. It's hauling right towards us. Back to you.
All right. All right. Great job there, Val and Amy. And Val, as always, if you see it, if you see suction spots or any dust, debris at all, I know you know, I know. Just jump in. Just holler so we can get you back in here. All right. So once again, this is in real time. This isn't sped up, but if you just sit here for like 10 seconds, bear with me. I also want to point out, see this, how this is going up and down, these little striations that are not on a mesocyclone, they'll be horizontal. See how these are more up and down? These are vertical. Another significant sign of just incredible upward motion going on and inflow into the storm, okay? That's what's going on with this right now. See that right there? Looks almost like a coffee filter, right? When you look at a coffee filter, talking about old school, not a Keurig. You're with me here on this, right? That looks like a coffee filter, and it has the little, right, little waves around it, the old school. Yeah, that's what that looks like. It's waving like that. That's the way it looks, but the whole thing is spinning like a top and from left to right. Then on the right side, this is all coming in from the northeast right, back into the mesocyclone. So the mesocyclone starts here and then goes all the way up. Wow, look at the motion. Look, this is folding back. I think what's going to happen here, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, look at the vertical wall. Okay, so this is going to fold back around, and when it does, it's going to really try to produce.
The circulation just north of Tom is really coming up, David.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to that. Justin, you have something? Go to Tom. Okay, let's go to Tom. Let's go to Tom Pastrano now. Again, this is in southwest Oklahoma. Let's go to Tom. Tom, give us an update. Looks like you are eastbound and down. There's a song in there. What do you think? Give me an update.
Yeah, I think I have a developing tornado just outside my window. It's going to be about 1 mile to my north. There's some rapid rotation. It's very dusty out here. It's been really dry, so all of the dust is just feeding into that rotation. But it is rapid rotation just above the surface right now. It's really incredible. I'm going to try to get a shot here. We have 1 more mile, and then I can pull off and show you. But it is incredible, the rotation. Back to you.
And again, don't stop for long. This thing is moving, and I know you're just ahead of it, and it's just north of you. But give us a shot. That's fine, but just keep moving, all right? Don't get caught behind this thing, because your roads are going to get a little gnarly here coming up. But Tom is headed eastbound. The circulation he's talking about is on his left with tight rotation going on there. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3. This is going to be sheer rate. And, folks, this is impressive. This is impressive. And, again, this thing is really wrapped up. Tom's right here looking back to his northwest. Large, deep mesocyclone now. This is going to be just now east of Tom Steed Reservoir. Tom is just east of that. Here comes Val coming in from the north. And Val's got a great shot as well. This thing's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour.
And I'm just looking at 45. The locations ahead of it, David. It's headed right towards the North Mountain Wilderness area. It's going to cross Highway 54, and that's what you're seeing kind of that elevation there with the terrain off towards your east. That's where it's headed before it gets to Highway 115.
Yeah, and it's horrible for chasing.
Yes.
It's really hard to get in these areas. See all the mountains showing up? When you get down to Mount Scott, Mears, and all that? Yeah, that's what this is down here. Here's velocity data. God, we almost have a tornado.
And the winds are 80.
80 on the backside on the wrap. So we've got 80-mile-per-hour winds, damaging winds. Not where the tornado is, but on the backside of the tornado. These are 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. These are headed from north to south, okay? That's what we call the rear flank downdraft and part of the RFD. This is the jet stream winds coming from the mid and upper levels, slamming into this mesocyclone on the backside. And that's what's generating, and that's what's developing tornado genesis. We've got to have a tornado on the ground. There's no way that it's not. Let's go to Valcaster. Let's get an update. We almost have a debris ball. Let's go to Valcaster now. And Val, it is tight. It is spinning like a top. It's the tightest it's been all day, Val. Tornado is imminent. Go ahead.
David, there's an area of rain where the center of the spin is right in the middle of that rain. Right there. It is spinning hard, David. It is spinning very, very hard. The rain is not that dense. We ought to be able to see through it, off and on here to see if it's actually got one of their. Hey, debris on the ground, David, right there. Look at the tornado on the ground, There it is. See that debris?
Right here.
Tornado on the ground.
Okay, here we go. All right, Val, exact location again one more time. You are north of Tom. Tornado now is on the ground. Here's the cone developing.
There it is, over there.
Yeah, here's the cone developing.
See that?
Yeah, here's another section spot. This is going to be a News 9 tornado warning with tornado on the ground live on News 9. There's a tornado. You're thinking, doesn't look like much. You're right. It's fairly weak right now, but that is the developing tornado. The dust continues to lift up into it. It's called a suction spot, and you've got a big area, a mesocyclone. All right, go ahead, Val. Give me an update. Go ahead. You're on.
All right. It's getting larger, David. It's getting larger. You see the debris right there. There's more debris, and this is going to be a mile southwest of us. It's going to be about a mile and a half southwest of Cooperton. I kind of think it's going to miss Cooperton just barely to the east. But if you guys live on the south or the east side of Cooperton, maybe out of town just a little bit, oh, man, watch close because this thing is getting stronger by the minute here, David. Stronger by the minute. It's not rain-wrapped. I think it's getting ready to be rain-wrapped if that keeps going into it there. But anyway, this storm is strong. It means business. Back to you, David.
Okay, all right, great job. And also, Justin has some things for you here coming up. Let's let Val get back in with Justin. And you saw it live right here on News 9, tornado on the ground from Valcaster and Tom Pastrano. And Tom is making his way back east, and he was right there looking right at it. But we were going in between shots, and look at the wrap there going on. So there's the tornado. And wow. Okay, let's go to Tom and get an update from Tom Pastrano, and then we'll get back to radar here. And control room, let's go back to Tom, take his shot. And Tom, it just produced, I think you saw it, a brief spin up there, just, gosh, so close to you. Val's just to your north. What do you think? Give me an update. I know you're getting back in position. Go ahead. Do we have Tom? Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I could see the developing tornado, and that motion was incredible. But from my vantage point, it was rain wrap. So we're going east now, and we're going to try to get a better view. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Great job there, Tom. And bring it back east and bring it back north. Remember, you got to watch out for northwestern Comanche County. As far as chasing and roads, it's a nightmare, right? It's an island in the stream. You got to go around it, right? You just can't go through it. Okay, let's go back to Links 3. And here's the hook right here. Here's the hail core from Roosevelt. And this is now what we call the Screaming Eagle. And Screaming Eagle is developing here. We have lots of difluence above with the jet stream. And the jet stream is ripping over this storm, and it's evacuating all the air that's going up and then taking it downstream. So that's why it always has fresh convection, because it's being evacuated off the top with the jet stream winds, okay? That's what is one of the key ingredients to when you have tornadoes, right? Strong jet stream winds. We talk about it all the time. All right, so the velocity here, there's your couplet. Now on the backside, 80 to 90 mile per hour winds on the backside of this, okay? All right, we're talking about east of Roosevelt. Major damaging winds going on, all wrapping into the little area of red right here. That is where your tornado is, okay? Val's looking at it, Tom's looking at it, and again, it's moving off to the northeast at 45. Still at 45, guys, on the speed?
Looks like it. Yeah,
Okay.
It's turning right.
It is turning right.
It is continuing to move more easterly.
All right, let's
a little bit.
Let's lapse it here. Let's see. Yeah.
From what it was.
Yeah. Well,
see the last.
Here's the good thing about it. It's going to move into southwestern Caddo County. So the chasing, yes, these guys will be good, okay? They're going to be just fine to be able to chase this thing. So Jim Gardner's on this. He'll be down there, and he's almost on it, and we'll see what Jim has to see. But it's going to clip northwestern Comanche County, which is right basically in here, and then it's right here. And then from there, it's going to come up into Caddo County eventually, okay? All right, so once again, tornado warning. You folks in Cooperton, it is south of you, damaging winds, yes, in Cooperton, but the tornado is going to be south of you as it moves off to the northeast. So this is going to be, again, tornado warning. All right, big hail, still looking at up to baseball. I think tennis balls for sure. That is locked in. And there might be, some of the radar algorithms are pointing out we could have up to baseball-sized hail. But this is a mean monster storm. I mean, that's a storm we often see in May. Go ahead.
We have the storm track set up as well.
Let's do it.
For folks down the line, since it's moving so quickly.
Yeah, and folks, this is not moving at 20. It's moving at 45, okay? So let's get some of our cities in our bearing straight here. Okay, so Jim's coming in from the northeast. This is going to be Fort Cobb. All right, so here's Cooperton. Here's your hook, right? Here's your Screaming Eagle, right? This thing is wrapped up, and wow. And it's moving east. Now, I want to point out, we got to keep an eye on these storms down here. I don't like little lonely storms by themselves at all, at all. And when you're storm chasing, sure, you want to be on this one, right? But you got to keep an eye on these things down here. They can sneak in and bite you and quickly ramp up and we get a tornado out of that. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, so obviously, look, the trackers are all lined up. I want to point out, none of the storms west or north of Oklahoma City are severe right now. This is all in southwest Oklahoma. Large hail, damaging winds, and the tornado warning does continue. And also, we got to keep an eye on this. Lacey, is that storm ahead of the boundary or on the boundary?
You're pointing at the Snyder storm?
Yeah,
Let me look at the mesonet.
Okay, I think it's ahead of it.
Altus has a north wind, Hobart has a north wind, but everything else south of there, Tipton still has a south breeze.
Okay. All right,
so it's right, it's close.
Right on the front, okay.
By the way, just getting reports of major blowing dust near Tipton, as you can imagine, with winds potentially up to 80 miles per hour.
Yes, on the backside of this?
Yes, from Tipton to Snyder down to Frederick.
Yeah, 80 plus down here, folks. So damaging winds, damaging wind event as well. All right, so there's your storm track, okay? And I want to point out, here's Fort Cobb, here's Gracemont, here's Mustang, here's Yukon, here's Noble. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and take this out to include Moore and Norman and Oklahoma City, okay? Let's go ahead and do that on the storm track, and let's kind of get rid of some of those other cities in here. Not that we don't love you. We're just trying to get everybody in and take it all the way to the metro. Okay, so tornado warning continues for far southeastern Kiowa County, and that's going to go through Kiowa County for a while. Here's Caddo County. A little time left for you. Jeremy Carter's coming in from the north. And again, this is going to be headed northeast. Here comes Brandon. Here comes JD. Everyone's watching this storm. And it's moving northeast, okay?
Hold on.
At 45. Make it maybe a little bit wider just to be safe.
Oh, gosh.
Now you're really doing it. Okay. I'd go, yeah. Probably make it a little bit narrower.
Yeah.
Let's go back to links 3 while we get that figured out. Let's go links 3. And again, talking about the hail in here. Up to tennis ball, and we could have some baseballs in here, right? That's going to be from just now east of Roosevelt and Cooperton. But what you're not seeing, I'll show you in velocity data, are going to be damaging winds on the back side of this storm, right? And your couplet is still in here. Here's your couplet down in here, right here. Val's here on the north side. Val's getting back into position. And that's going to be Val's shot right there. Tom's got another great shot, by the way. But look at this. Look at the kink in here. Look at this thing wrapped up. Let's go to velocity. Okay, shear rate, boom. Right there. All right, so here's Tom. Here's Val. These guys have basically let this thing split the uprights. Tom's going to make his way back north. Val's going to keep going this way, and this is going to swing up into southeastern Kiowa County, and then we're going to Caddo County. All right, so tornado warning once again. If you live in northwestern Comanche County, if you live south of Sedan into Kiowa County, if you live near Highway 19, okay, Highway 115, you need to be in your safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house, right? Look at the hook. Look at the hook in here. Right here, folks. This is a dangerous storm, no doubt about it. And again, it's moving off now east-northeast. Has it made more of a turn? You said that earlier, and it had, but it...
It's hard. It's almost wobbling.
It's wobbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it goes more northerly, and then it goes almost due east, and then it's just wobbling back and forth moment.
Yeah, you know, here's the deal. I mean, remember, these are an area of low pressure punching a hole in the atmosphere, and so many things are being really just bombarded onto this storm. Talking about the jet stream, the low-level jet stream, the mid-level jet stream. So these things wobble. They wobble a lot, more than you think. Tornadoes are never in a straight line. I chased tornadoes for so long. Never. Never is it straight as an arrow. So they wobble, and they'll kind of do like this, like an eye of a hurricane, because there's so many forces pulling on them. Centrifugal force, trying to pull this thing to the north, right? Because we're in the northern hemisphere, and the Earth is spinning. And so there's a lot of things going on with these storms, why they're trying to pull to the north, while other parameters in the atmosphere are trying to pull them farther east. So what do you get? You get a wobble. What do you got?
I was just looking at the front crashing towards Frederick, and ahead of it, the new shower going up east of Frederick, north of Chattanooga, and another one south of Loveland.
Yep.
And those are in a very favorable environment as well.
Yeah.
We'll see what they do.
That's right. We've been talking about it here. These two storms here, right? This is the beginning of our outbreak, okay? Talking about west of Chattanooga. Now, that other storm we had earlier, see, I told you it was going to eat it. That little shower here, it did. It ate it for dinner. That little shower here that went up, boom, it ate it. Bye. Now, we have the two other storms down here. These are a little bit stronger. Now, if these can stay out ahead of this, these could become tornadic, okay? Chattanooga, west of you folks, down to Granville, okay? But this is the big game right now. This is the only game in town, but we cannot keep our eyes off of those two storms that are spinning. All right, so everything, again, it's going to Anadarko. It's going to Anadarko. Let's get an update from, whose shot is that? Let's go to Val Castor, and then we'll go back to Tom. Let's go to Val. And Val, you've got a wall of rotation behind you, my friend. That is a deep mesocyclone. And Val, some of the velocity data is, you know, it's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down. Give me an update. Look at the RFD cut. Look at this is a rear flank downdraft cut. Look at the dry air, trying to wrap it. Nope, not trying. Val, look at that. Look at the RFD there, Val, wrapping into the mesocyclone. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, big time RFD wrapping in. I mean, big time. This thing is turning into a little more of an HP, but it is hard. It's strongly.
Hang on. We got him.
Very, very quickly. And it could do the same thing again very quickly. It gets rain wrapped every now and then emerges and comes out of it. We're just doing our best to stay up with it and ahead of it. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job. Val and Amy, again, down here in southwest Oklahoma, northwest of Lawton. It's going to be well east of Hobart now, but you're looking at the mesocyclone, that little thin line you see right there. That's what we call the rift-link downdraft, and that's basically where dry air is making its way through, and that is where the mesocyclone is, kind of the cutout of the mesocyclone, okay? And that whole thing is, again, racing northeast, and this whole thing is spinning from left to right at a high velocity. Okay, let's go back to links 4. We're going to do a storm track, and we've done this fairly wide, right, to a couple of things, for a couple of reasons. In case it were to occlude, we got to watch out for that. If this thing were to occlude and turn to the north, right now we've not seen that. Every chase event, every supercell event, every outbreak, storms act differently. And so what you pick up is at the beginning of the event and going into the event, how storms are acting. Do we see storms start occluding and lifting to the north and the ball of rotation lifting north? Right now, that's not happened. This thing has done a pretty good job. It's wobbled, sure. It's wobbled, but it's been a pretty good line, again, coming in from the southwest to the northeast. So we're looking at Anadarko here, folks, okay? 646, 659 in Verdon, Amber 716, okay? Tiger Safari 725, not the one you're thinking about. This is the one up north. Moore 749, downtown Oklahoma City 750, Midwest City 758, Tinker Air Force Base 8 o'clock, Lake Stanley Draper 8 o'clock. Now here's what's happening right now. The low-level winds in the atmosphere, which are very conducive for tornado genesis, are going to get stronger over the next several hours. They just continue to get stronger, which means these storms, including that one and including the ones down to the south, are going to move into a more favorable environment for tornadoes, all right? This is just the beginning, and it's only 6 o'clock, all right? Want to point out, nothing severe in the West Metro, okay? Nothing. We have showers and storms up here, but right now, this is our concern. All right, let's go. I tell you what, let's stay with links 3. Let's go back to links 3, and I just want to give you folks up here, a little farther north, kind of an update. Bob and Vaughn are up north. Ponca City's up here. That's where Tim is. And these storms, as of right now, are not severe. Some small hail, gusty winds, lightning and thunder, lifting north into Ponca City. Nothing tornadic in here, okay? So don't panic, no big deal. Kingfisher to Okarche to Greenfield to Gary. You might have some small hail in here, all right? Back to Colony for sure, some hail in here. Back to Bridgeport and Gary. But again, nothing that I'm like, oh boy, okay? Because if it were, we'd be all over this, right? But I'm not worried in here right now. We're watching it, okay? All right, we're watching this very, very carefully. This is our concern back here. Okay, so let's get back to southwestern Oklahoma. And tornado warning once again for far northwestern Comanche County, southeastern Kiowa County, southwestern Caddo County. Here's Jeremy, here's Val, there's Tom right there. And I'm looking at their shots, getting their shots straight here. And, okay, here's the inflow notch. There's the center of the circulation. It's right here, right? Bright greens, bright reds, inflow notch. And by the way, it's a large mesocyclone. I mean, this thing, you could say it runs 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, it's every bit of 4, 5, 6 miles, 7 miles across. I mean, it's a big meso. No doubt about it.
And it's almost out of the tornado warned area officially, but a new tornado warning is coming further down the line because this thing is still very strong. Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, nothing has changed. Okay, there's Val. Val's looking right back at this. Let's go get an update from Val. There's your inflow notch right here. There's your hook, right? Wrapping around right there. Let's go to Val Castor and bring him back in. Tom is getting back in position. And Val, what do you think? We have your shot up. It's kind of frozen, not the best cell area. But Val, I tell you what, it's got one heck of a ball on it here, and it is impressive. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, David, just to let you know what we've been seeing, about 10 minutes ago, we could see dirt up in the air underneath the wall cloud next to the wraparound part. That was when it was over the mountains. Now, we saw what looked like a brief funnel just about maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago. Now the whole area is rotating, and you are exactly right. It is a very large meso. It's a very large, broad rotation right here. And right now, I think the center of the rotation is in the rain. So it's right over the wind farm, too. So we're just going to do our best to stay back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job, Val and Amy. Once again, Val and Amy, Tom, and Corey. That's Tom's chase partner, Corey. they had that tornado as well. We had it live on the air. By the way, control room, if we can, get anything, we can re-rack that and just kind of put that together to show. Okay, so it's what we call an HP supercell. Heavy precipitation, dew points are high, or the moisture content in the atmosphere is high. And this is often what you get as you get into south central and central Oklahoma. Western Oklahoma often, in the panhandles, you can see tornadoes a country mile. You get a little farther east, your moisture's deeper, your visibilities are not that good. And that's a problem with tracking tornadoes, right? We go by wind, we go by power flashes, and you go by getting up close and taking a look at it here. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3.
The warning is out for much of Caddo, southern Caddo County now.
Okay, right, and there it is, all the way now, Caddo County. Okay, so Gracemont and Anadarko, Pine Ridge, Fort Cobb Lake, back to Alden, and look at the hook, folks, right? Means business. It's right here. It's right here. Large, it almost looks like we have two areas of spin. I know there's one, but when you look at velocity data, there's almost, it's interesting. It is. See down here?
Yeah, further south.
That's what I'm talking about. Right down here, and then up to the north, there's like something, a little bit of a kink right here. So it's almost like it's developed two areas of spin, which, hey, you know what? Crazier things have happened.
Jim's shot is impressive.
What's that?
Jim's shot is very impressive.
Let's go to Jim Gardner, and Jim is right here to the east of it, and oh my gosh, look at that shot from Jim Gardner. That is the mesocyclone that's moving off to the east-northeast, northeast now at 45 miles per hour. Jim, an incredible shot. It's rain-wrapped, but Jim Gardner, from time to time, the rain will disappear, and you'll be able to see that thing tucked back in there into the rain. Go ahead, Jim. Give me an update.
Well, that's right, David. I'm sitting at Highway 19 and Highway 58 intersection right now, shooting back to the west, southwest. Like you said, you're looking at it, David. Man, it is a one whopping big mesocyclone, man, thunderstorm. This is the backside of it. And you can see the hail in there. You can see the green layer in there. That's all hail, David, right in there. Heavy rain, a lot of cloud to ground lightning up to the north of us. But, man, what a thunderstorm, David. Right now we're in a good spot. Keep you updated. Jim Gardner live for Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
All right, great job there, Jim. So, wow, look at that shot. I mean, he is right there. And remember, he's a couple thousand feet off the ground looking back at the mesocyclone, and he's up, and look how low the wall cloud here is, how low it is when you look at it here from his vantage point here. So, yeah, his vantage point, he can easily see. I tell you what, man, there's rain trying to wrap. You start to look for rain wrapping in and around this thing. See how it goes from, okay, this is rain in here that's wrapping around. I'm okay with that. What I'm looking at is a little bit darker in here, and I know the sun angle, I get all that. But right in here, it's really, really dark, right? Right there. Almost a little band. Okay. What I'm saying is sometimes you'll look in here and you'll see like a vortice or, you know, or a tornado, okay? All right, so Jim's right there. We're in a good spot with that. Let's go back to Lynx 3, look at the hail swath or the hail tracks of this storm, and this has been a damaging hail event with up to tennis ball, even baseball-size hail running from just northeast of Altus all the way to Roosevelt. No doubt about it. I mean, this has been a damaging hail swath that is now headed towards Carnegie, Fort Cobb Lake. So you folks in southern, southwestern Caddo County, any interest at all to protect your property, do it now. That's either going to be from a tornado or that's going to be from damaging winds and hail. Okay, damaging wind and hail is going to just move across all of southern and southwestern Caddo County.
You can see how it made that bend and started to turn right when the storm strengthened near Cooperton. It almost made a 90-degree angle there.
It did, no doubt about it. And remember, the low-level jet's trying to kick in, and that is fuel. Low-level jet, about 5,000 to 7,000 feet up, is feeding this from the south, above our heads right now, down here, and it's ripping into it, and that's exactly what this thing wants. So as this is ripping in, as it's moving northeast, that storm is going to try to turn into that and become perpendicular to the inflow from the south, right? So just imagine just a conveyor belt of a southeast ripping wind, and this thing, how that thing breathes and stays alive as it tries to maximize as much as it can the inflow that's ripping into it. It's food, it's fuel, it's everything that it needs. All right, CC?
I was checking it because I could see a higher intensity coming back on reflectivity. Look at the hook right there.
Right there.
Right on Highway 19.
Yep. Okay.
County Road 2440.
Okay.
Is the county road where that is, and that just looked a little ominous to me.
We got to get these streets bigger. Is it just me? Or these streets gotten smaller here the last couple of months?
I'm not going there.
What's going on around here?
I can read them here is all I'm going to tell you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so again, here's where the tornado is. Let's go to Val Castor, and then we're going to go back to Tom. Tom's getting back in position here. Let's go to Val. And hey, Val, we have your shot up. Shot looks good. It looks clean. And we got to say it, it's wrapped in rain, which is the scariest kind of tornado. All right, and by the way, Val, the hook has intensified, velocities have intensified, and it is producing up to baseball-size hail behind you. Go ahead, Val.
Wow. So, David, that rain right in our shot there, you're looking basically at the north apex of the wraparound precip. And when we stop and look at it, you can visibly see big-time wrapping rain curtains. It is all wrapped up heavily right there in the middle of that rain mess, and it's wrapped up hard. This is a strong, and by the way, earlier we had to go through the core, and we got ping pong ball size hail briefly in the core. So anyway, we are definitely having to drive and keep moving and keep the stops to a minimum just to stay ahead of this thing. But David, it's really wrapped up behind us.
No doubt, Val. I mean, and Val, you saw it, and you and Tom saw it live. We had it live on the air with you guys with the tornado there, again, on the ground. It has lifted, we think, right now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Let's get back to it. Look at the hook on this. Wow. Take a picture of this, folks. There's a snapshot. Jim Gardner's right there. Look at the hook. Okay, here's another hook developing down here where Tom is. We've got to watch that. Tom is on that cell. New tornado warning for Tom storm. You see that? Yes. Okay, let's go back to Tom Pastrana. New tornado warning now. And
that's the older one for the Cooperton storm.
Oh, it is?
Believe.
Okay,
I
all right.
believe.
Okay, well, that thing is wrapping up for sure. Look at the hook developing on that.
Yeah, that's still the same one, but that is very intense storm as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is severe, but okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, it's getting stronger. Hey, let's get an update from Tom and find out what's going on. Tom, your inflow notch, your hook, is getting stronger. No doubt about it. Go ahead and give me an update. What do you think, looking off to your north there?
Yeah, I'm just out of the rain right now, and, I don't have anything crazy like before. This one isn't taking off quite as fast, but we are going to keep up with it, and it does have potential, just like any of the other ones, to eventually become severe and possibly tornadic. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no doubt about it. Great job, Tom. So Tom's a little farther south now, and this is another supercell, okay, that Tom's on. Okay, let's go back to Links 3, and then we're going to do a storm track with Cassie. And let's go back to Links 3 control room. Let's take a look at what we have going on. Tornado warning now for, again, southwestern Caddo County. The hook is right here. Jim Gardner's right there. We're going to check in with Jim coming up. His shot is amazing, and it's right there. There's Jim Gardner's shot. That's going to be Val's shot, and then there's Tom's shot. All right, so tornado warning now continues for southeastern Kiowa County, coming into southwestern Caddo County. And then from there, it's going to make its way to Anadarko, to Stecker, and then, folks, down the road, Chickasha. All right, now there's a chance that this tries to lift a little farther north, or it might stay where it is, right? Or it might make a right turn, okay, and move more easterly. But here's the deal. We've got to make the cone track here, the track, we got to keep it wide. We got to keep it wide just for that reason. It's a large storm, and large storms have a tendency to sometimes make some bigger turns, whether it's a left turn or a right turn, just because they have completely taken over the atmosphere. Okay? All right, so shear rate back southwest of Jeremy, it's not as strong as what it was. Don't get me wrong, it is still spinning. It is still strongly spinning now, and Val's right in here. He's back up to the north now. And is Val getting back in position? Just trying to figure out what exactly he's doing. Let's go back to reflectivity on this.
Okay.
Let's take a look here. Okay, he's getting back farther north. I see what Jeremy's doing. Hey, Justin. Yeah. What's the deal on Val? He's making his way back to the northeast here?
Yeah, he was heading east.
Yeah, okay. Yep, no, he's good. Just checking in. We have Jeremy's shot. And Jeremy's going to get in position. Justin, let's get Jeremy, his camera shot, turned around and in position. Let's go back to Jim Gardner. So tornado warning, you folks in southern Caddo County, lowest level, safe spot. If you live in a mobile home, you need to get out of it. And you got to go to a neighbor's house that has a storm shelter or has a built building that has a center part, lowest level. Do not obviously get on the second floor. What?
The storm track on Links 4, just for people further down the line. We've got that set up as well.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go to Links 4. Cassie, great job. And when I look over and they're both staring, I'm in trouble, right? Everyone's staring. Moving to the northeast now. There's your storm track. We're looking at Anadarko at 650, Chickasha at 711. How about Minko, 720, Blanchard, 734, Moore, 751, Purcell, 754, downtown Oklahoma City about 8 o'clock, and Midwest City at about 8:02. Now, here's the deal on this. If this storm turns more easterly, that's going to miss more, okay? But it's wobbled some. What's that?
Good, Jeremy.
Let's go to Jeremy Schott and get an update from him. And Jeremy is right here. He's looking right at it. And Jeremy, I see the rain curtains going from right to left. That's going to be wrapping around the mesocyclone. Give me an update, Jeremy Carter, as you're looking off to your southwest there. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, you can see the rain is actually pushing out a little bit from the main updraft. But, man, it's crowding me pretty hard right now. But definitely a lot of wind. I can't see a funnel or the main area of rotation, anything tie it right here visually. But definitely a very intense storm with really strong winds, David. Back to you.
Yeah, and again, what he's not seeing is that it's inside the rain. And that is a problem. He's right there looking right at it, and it's just a wall of water in front of him, okay? So that is a problem. Let's go back to Jim Gardner up top, and Jim's right here. There's his GPS, and look at all the traffic here. And a lot of those are going to be storm chasers, right? We were looking at some of the pages we look at, and there are hundreds, if not, I don't know, maybe thousands, I don't know. There's so many storm chasers here right now from all over the country, and they are in Oklahoma today. So if you're here, welcome. But wow, let's get an update from Jim. Jim, the mesocyclone, you can see it right in front of you, but it is wrapped in rain. It's hard to see much, if anything, on the ground right now, if there were something on the ground. Go ahead.
Well, as you're exactly right, David. I'm about 3.5 miles directly northwest of the town of Apache, shooting back to the west, northwest, and we're right only about a mile from the front of this right now, David. And it is a massive storm. I mean, it is just a huge, the whole thing is turning, David. But the tent, the green tent, that is all hail. This thing, besides the tornado, there has to be a tremendous amount of hail damage in this, and a tremendous amount of cloud to ground lightning up in front of it. But again, look at that, David. It's just an impressive storm right now. And mention those storm trackers, David. There are so many storm trackers out right here on some of these roads. They got to be really careful and I mean, not jam these things up. But anyway, we'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9. Back to you.
Okay. All right. There we go. Great job there, Jim. Just look at the storm here. And that's a problem, folks. It's a very, very large storm. Lots of wind in it. Mesocyclone that is wrapped in rain. This tornado is not visible right now. Okay? It's not. It was earlier. It was earlier. When we get that video re-racked, would you guys just holler in my ear or yell at me or throw something at me and that'd be fine? But look at this shot. Look at the rain here wrapping around. Wrapping around. Okay, let's take a look at the video from earlier. When the wall cloud, it was still visible, and Tom was here. That shot there is from Val and Amy Castor. Everything ripping in. There's your first tornado of the day. It was live right here on News 9 at 6 p.m. near Roosevelt. Val Castor right there, and all the motion, everything going from right to left. And watch it again. It'll put down another cone right here. Another tornado on the ground. Again, that was at 6 o'clock near Roosevelt. Small tornado, brief tornado, but nonetheless, that is a tornado, and that was up underneath that mesocyclone. So this area now is still here. The problem is that it's completely wrapped in rain, all right? So it's wrapped in a waterfall. Now, we can see it through velocity data, but visually, it's hard to see through that. But look at the motion in there earlier. There's the tornado.
All right, David, we're getting reports of damage, metal barn blown apart, every power pole snapped, and power lines strewn about, and that was 8 miles west of Boone, Oklahoma, and that is very near where the location of the circulation is right now. Yeah, just right. Yeah, let's go back to Links 3. Northwest of Boone currently. Yeah, okay, let's go back. There it is. So there's Boone. It's right here. So the tornado is probably intermittently at least up and down. Okay, on the ground, it lifts, it's down, it lifts. Okay, and there's where the tornado is going to be, right here. This is wrapping into it. And you put shear rate on, and it's a big mesocyclone. It still looks like there's two areas. It does.
I mean,
almost
I know
the top and bottom of the hook, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, It looks weird. This doesn't, but when you go to velocity data, it looks weird. Look at the ball on that, folks. So there's your mesocyclone right here in the middle of where I have my finger, basically, is where this is. This is all wrapping back in. It's going to be right in here.
I'm going to check for debris one more time while you're looking. So far, I mean, if there is debris lofted, there's not enough that it's picking up as of yet. Right,
and when we look at this is our debris detector, and for you Mets out there, you're looking at CC, correlation coefficient, and you're looking for anything in the atmosphere that basically is, you know, water, ice, and debris and things like that. You're looking for things that are not made of ice or water, right? It's everything but that. And what you'll see is as you start to look, you'll see these colors here showing up. Ignore that, it's not there. It's back in here, and you'll see a little area of blue, and it'll be a pretty tight hole. We don't see that right now. We don't see any debris. We see plenty of rain. We see plenty of hail in here, but we are not seeing any debris being lofted and the radar picking it up, which is a good sign. So we look at that, and doesn't mean you won't have a small, brief tornado in this. And we got to make sure that this thing does not ramp up and just get kind of nutty. All right, so we have another hook down here, not tornadic, but it is spinning. Okay, this is going to be northwest of Mount Scott. The big story is right here. Tornado warning continues for southern and southeastern Caddo County. And again, moving east-northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we'll do a storm track on this coming up. It's going to Stacker. It's going to Anadarko. Here's what you're going to get out of this. You're going to get large hail, damaging winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. And then there's a chance, if you're in the wrong spot, if you're right down in here, you're going to get possibly the tornado if it produces again. Right? What do you think?
I'm looking at the storm further south of the Red River. So this is not in Oklahoma yet, but another storm that looks to cross potentially into Oklahoma near the Ranlette area.
Right.
Here in the next 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
That would cross the Red River, and the hook on that's coming up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Justin, Tom headed eastbound. The intercept, what's coming out? Okay, for sure. Let's get him eastbound and down. And that is, yeah, it's going to take a while to get here, but...
Yeah, if it turns hard to right, it'll kind of stay south of the Red River.
Until, I don't think we can avoid this, near Ryan and south of Waurika. Okay, Highway 70. So.
The storm south or north of Loveland has intensified as well ahead of the cold front still.
Yep, there's your cold front showing up nicely right here. It's attached to this storm, the southern storm, but that's your cold front. And behind that, the tornado threat drops off. It's out ahead of that, but that's our problem. Okay, so let's get back to it here. Tornado warning continues now for Caddo County, southwest of Oklahoma City. We'll get a storm track going. And are we still comfortable with the northeast movement? Look at that shot there from Val. Look at that shot there Val had. So let's lapse this. Let's just make sure the storm track is still good.
You want to make it go more east?
I don't want to leave too much of the metro out of it. It is coming into the metro. The storm itself will make it into the metro. I just want to make sure that we have, let's leave it into the metro and maybe extend it a little farther south and go down towards Ellick and Purcell and Wayne and Payne, just to be safe. We want to give ourselves a little wiggle room in here. All right, so once again, tornado warning continues. It's right here. This is where the strongest couple it is. Again, just south of, or southwest of Pine Ridge, right here. Strong area of spin. And here's Fort Cobb Lake up in here. And this is where Jeremy is. You can see some of the streets there. And again, everything, the storm itself still moving. We're still thinking 45, guys?
It almost looks like it slowed down a little bit. Is it to you, Cass?
It's definitely slowed down a little bit. I do have the track still going more east-northeast at this point to include Purcell and Wayne.
Yeah, I'm looking down at the velocity, the radar data here. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, okay, so here's Pine Ridge, and here's Hatchettville. Okay, here's Boone, and circulation's right here. You can see some of your farm roads here. East 1400 Road up against North Road 2520, and Pine Ridge, again, Hatchettville, Broxton. Very, very small communities, but if you live down here, you know where it is. There's the inflow notch. This is where all the warm, moist air, right, is being pulled into this storm, right? The mesocyclone is in here, and this is being pulled in. Then on the back side, on the wrapping side, on the north side, the downdraft side, up into the west side and the southwest side, you're going to have the large hail. Of quarter, golf ball, tennis ball, maybe even some baseball size hail. Big hail, for sure. Okay, so big storm, tornado warning continues. Let's go back to Val and get an update from Val and find out where he is. He's on that northern side of the inflow notch, Val. You're on the north side of the inflow notch, looking off to your southwest, and tornado warning continues. It's a little messy. It's a little messy on velocity data for sure. But go ahead, Val. Circulation is still strong. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, so David, we think that the storm occluded really, really hard. We think that the mezzo occluded right in the middle of all that rainy mess right there. I mean, obviously, it's still rotating hard. These storms like this, they cycle. You know, they go through that cycling process, and occlusion is just part of that, and that's what's happened. But the storm is still wrapped up extremely hard. It's just cycling over and over again. I know there's really, really strong winds in there also. And by the way, David, in the core, we had golf ball size hail just a few minutes ago. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great job there, Val. And Val is going to be, let's go back to links 3. You can see where Val is. That's his shot. And he is right here. And other things are happening now. Tom's down here. We have this storm. Again, these are separate storms. Okay. I know they're touching each other. But the tornado warned storm is here. All right. We've had live on the air confirmed tornadoes from Tom and Val. Okay. And then down to the south, another intensifying storm. So what we're going to do is Tom is going to go into Lawton, catch the storm that's coming out of Texas, and we have JD that's coming into Apache. Okay. So we need to get JD's shot in here. We have it. I see it. I'm looking at it.
I'm just giving you an update on the cold front. The cold front now is through Cache. So it may have undercut the very tail end of that.
Yep, and when it did, look what it did. It changed shape on us.
It did, and then you see a new hook forming north of Mount Scott.
Okay.
I'll zoom in there.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah, on your mirrors.
There's your new hook. Okay, so JD's coming in from the east. And so we have out to the north. Let's spec out of this one more time, and then we'll go back to our storm track. Okay, I want to point out here in Oklahoma City, folks, none of these storms up here are severe. And we've got a lot of, we got a lot of heavy rain, Kingfisher to Enid to Billings to Ponca City. But so far, this has been the monster of the day, and it's still making its way east-northeast. But at this point, it's going to make its way east to Chickasha and Amber in the South Metro.
Go to Jim, David. He thinks he has circulation.
Let's go to Jim Gardner, get an update from Jim. And Jim, okay, go ahead. Blowing dust. Is it lifting and turning? And I know you're right on the front lip of the storm there. Go ahead, give me an update. Is that outflow or is that inflow into the storm? Go ahead.
Well, at first we thought it was outflow, but then it started spinning, David. If you watch it, it's actually spiraling, it's actually circulating around itself. It went into a small gully there, man. We had a real good lift there. But the strange thing is, David, I'm going to show you something here. That wind right there, if we pull back, Apache is going to be just to the left of the screen. That's Apache right there. Okay, let's go back to the right. And then that's where the dust is, that it's kind of blowing out from the storm. Now let's go back to the, so that dust is blowing to the east, David. Right there, that dust is blowing to the east. If we roll around to the left here and come all the way around, you're going to see the dust out here that's to my left. Let's keep coming around. It is blowing straight to the west here as we find that field here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see the dust in these fields are blowing to the west. That is just to my east of me. Yeah, like dust right there. All that is blowing to the west, David. In the front of the storm, it's blowing to the east. So I'm kind of like right in between the two right here, David, as we come back around. And this storm is coming up on me pretty quick, but is now just coming over the top of Apache right there. But there for a minute, we had that dust spitting up, basically in a small funnel. It was in a gully, and it kind of spun up. And then it kind of started blowing down. See, there's dust right there that is blowing to the east right now. But the dust in the fields that are out to my east are blowing back to the west, David. So it is packing a pretty good punch right here, but we'll keep you updated. Jim Garner reporting live from Bob Bell Scotty's 9. Back to you.
Yeah, look at that shot there. So that's an east wind, which with this type of a situation, that tells me that storm is being undercut when we start to look where Jim is and his location. So that's actually a good problem to have. If we can get this thing to be undercut, that will limit for sure. That will cut off the tornado threat. All right, so that's what we were saying. This thing is kind of going through some organization issues right now. It's kind of going up, and you can see this wind is coming out of this, and the red dirt there is blowing away from the storm. Whenever you have a tornado, you'll never have a wind blowing at you. You're always going to have, if a tornado's coming at you or an area of spin, you're always going to have a wind at your back, okay? You're always going to have a wind at your back. And that's just how it works. So the mesocyclone is still here, but we're having some gust out issues right now, which they're good issues for sure. Who does? All right, let's go to Brandon and get an update. And he's in Anadarko, just east of Anadarko. Let's go to Brandon Pendleton. There you go. Nice shot there from Brandon. And that looks like it still looks like it's trying to tighten up right there. As you look at that thing from right to left. And he's on the northeast side of this thing. Go ahead, Brandon. Do we have him?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon. Yep, you're good. You're hot.
Hey, so we're going to be just east of Anadarko, looking straight back to the west. I can confirm, too, what they've been saying about it kind of going through a cycle stage. Just in the last 3 minutes, it kind of tried to form another wall cloud, but it's still in the process of trying to figure out exactly what it's going to do. We've got strong east winds here on Highway 62, just about 3 miles east of Anadarko.
All right, great job there, Brandon. Sorry, I'm talking to everybody else in here trying to figure it out. Great job, Brandon's going to stay with this. Now, Justin was just talking about the winds now in El Reno are out of the northwest. So if we can, maybe we can bring up the weather map here, the Mesonet, and just kind of show what's going on. Folks, that was the deal about today. If the front now is getting a push, and if the front undercuts the storms, that is going to, yes, drop the tornado risk, at least where those storms are, down to nearly nothing. You're going to get wind, you're going to get hail. Yes, you're going to have some localized flooding. Sure, lightning and thunder, all that. But if you get a north wind underneath a mesocyclone, it is not going to produce a tornado. It'll spin. It'll spin all afternoon. It'll spin all evening. But it will not produce a tornado. All right, 48-mile-per-hour wind gusts now down in Fort Cobb. So that's a north wind. It's a north wind, but that is on the north side of the mesocyclone. That's a little different deal. But see the north winds coming into the city? So let me just say this. Everybody that's along and west of that front, all right, once you get just a little behind it here by 10, 15 miles, you don't have a tornado threat. You've got a threat for more, rain and storm, sure. Yeah, but the main show is going to be along and ahead of the cool front, okay? All right, so, Enid, Watonga, no chance of a tornado now. You're out of it. You're out of it. Your window is closed. Okay, let's go back to links. Stay with links 3. Let's go back to radar here. Talk about the metro. Let's kind of come back north here, and then we'll get back down here just one more time. I just want to look at radar, see what's going on. Here's Oklahoma City, right? Edmond, Guthrie, and here we are at 643. Some pretty intense storms. We can turn on the lightning maybe just a second here. From Dover to Kingfisher, and quite a few lightning strikes in here. Heavy rain, going to have some localized flooding running from Dover to Kingfisher down to Okarche. But the cold front's coming through. The cold front is undercutting these storms. So that just eliminates that tornado threat. Now, the threat is still there for wind and hail. Yes, absolutely. But right now, these storms are not severe. Let's quickly get up north, then we'll jump back south. And other thunderstorms where Tim and Bob are located up near Marlin and Billings and Garber and Enid, right? Thunderstorms in here, some very small hail, gusty winds, lightning and thunder, and good rains. That's what's going on up north. So that's a good problem to have. Nothing severe up here right now. All right, so hey, we're doing okay up there. But we need to keep an eye on this because the boundary is still back in here, and these storms can lunge or can get out ahead of the boundary. And that's when you start to have problems. Our dynamic storm system that's coming into Oklahoma, that's moving in over our heads right now, it's just now getting here. It's just now arriving with the upper forcing, whether it's at the low levels or the mid levels, and so good stuff. All right, let's get to it here. Who shot? Let's go to Val Castor and get an update from Val. And wow, okay, look at what's going on from right to left. Val, what do you think? Is it trying to, man, that to me looks like it's trying to tighten up one more time, Val.
It is, absolutely, David. It's for the past 30 minutes, we haven't really seen much at all, but now in the past 5 or 6 minutes, there is some pretty strong motion and rotation going on in that shot as soon as we get out of the trees. You see that right there? You could see the rain curtain trying to wrap around it now. Earlier, it was exposed. Now it's trying to get wrapped around, but it's intensifying again. We talked about the cycle. earlier, it's cycling up again hard. So a lot of motion right in that. And we're now coming into Anadarko, and that's going to be southwest of town, David.
No doubt about it. And Val, on velocity data and shear rate and all the tools that we have here at News 9, only on News 9, so many of those tools, I can tell you that it is definitely ramping back up. And you can see in his shot there, this whole thing right here, that is the mesocyclone. That is a waterfall of rain that is so heavy, but at the same time, this rain is moving from left to right, and that's where the tornado is going to be. Let's go to Brandon Pennell, and Brandon's shot a little bit different, and he's got a different view, and I want you to see the motion of this shot from Brandon here, and I tell you what, it is impressive. Let's go to Brandon's shot control room, and we'll take a look at what his shot looks like, and we'll check in with him. Same storm, same view, just a little bit different off here between Val and Brandon, but there's that the mesocyclone right there from left to right. And Brandon, that right side there is ripping back into that thing. It looks like to me that storm is intensifying. At least the mesocyclone now is starting to pull a little bit more than what it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. Just since we've talked, it kind of flatlined for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it tries to come back. So it's obviously struggling with something right now, maybe at the surface, but every time it tries to come back, it comes back a little bit stronger and a little bit tighter. We've noticed maybe a couple small funnels still at the cloud base, just underneath where you can see in the shot. It's getting a little bit close to us now, so it's kind of hard to make out exactly what I'm talking about. But every now and then you can see what we call probably a shear funnel or something like that in the base of the clouds. It's just a matter of time, maybe the further east it goes, trying to organize itself and become just a better storm overall by the looks of it, just from what I can see here east of Anadarko. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is intensifying. The mesocyclone is getting a little bit stronger. The reflectivity, the hook is developing here, and it still has a very, very impressive inflow notch. So the tornado warning still continues for Caddo County. If you live in Chickasha, heads up, you're going to get wind, you're going to get hail. You're going to get damaging wind, and you can easily get large and damaging hail in Chickasha. We've already had some damage down near Boone in southwestern Oklahoma. We had it live on the air, the tornado live from Val and Amy Castor, and also Tom Pastrana was right there looking right at it. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3, and there's where Jeremy is right now. What's Jeremy's shot? Jeremy's in rain. He's on the leading edge of that, and I think he's trying to get back into position. Here's JD. I see JD's shot, and this is the inflow notch right here. So the tornado warning continues, and folks, is it moving due east now? Can we almost call it due east?
Yeah, it looks due east.
I think so.
If anything, slightly north of east.
Yeah.
Which is not good news for Chickasha.
No, it's going right to Chickasha. It's going right to Chickasha right now. Okay, so if you live in Chickasha, this is Grady County, Amber, Ninnekah, okay, Agawam. You folks all up and down 81. Here's your couplet. Jeremy's right there. He's okay. There you go. So the circulation is going to be just southwest of Anadarko. Just southwest of Anadarko. There it is. The red's up against the greens, folks. Red's up against the greens.
Right on Highway 9.
It's right over Highway 9. So Val's in Anadarko, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 miles, give or take, 3 to 4 miles. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 miles to southwest of Anadarko. You folks in Anadarko, you got to be in your safe spot, right? Sirens hopefully are blowing already.
Okay, we're hearing reports now, tornado on the ground just southwest of Anadarko.
Okay.
So it is wrapped in rain.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. No doubt about it. Okay, so you folks in Anadarko, let's go back to Val. He's in Anadarko, headed eastbound. And Val, the tornado might be on the ground again, Val. It might be on the ground again. If it is wrapped in rain. It's 3 miles to your southwest.
Near the airport, the Anadarko Municipal Airport.
It's right over the airport or close to it. What do you think? Go ahead, Val.
Okay, look at our shot, David. That is the area that the tornado would be in if it was on the ground. So we heard your report, 3 miles southwest of Anadarko, tornado on the ground. We can't see it through the rain, but the rain is really, really thick around it. But the shot you're looking at right there is the center of the rotation. Remember earlier we told you that it looked like it was trying to wrap up again. We were seeing strong rotation. That's what happened. It spun up again, and then the rain just rapidly spun all around it. We're going to go, there's a big hill just east of town over here. We're going to go stop and turn around and watch that come towards us, see if we could see it if it emerges out of the rain, David.
All right, hang on. Val, hang on just 1 second here. Greg, give me a second. Let's go back to reflectivity here. Let's go back to Links 3. Hang on, don't go anywhere. I need to talk to you. All right, please don't leave me. Here's a hail core. By the way, this is going to be tennis ball and baseball size hail, okay? And this is Gold River Casino on 281 north of Anadarko. This is a major damaging hailstorm in here. Tennis ball to baseball size hail.
And that
doing
hail
damage
is going to Lake Chickasha.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have anybody camping out, whatever, it's the weekend, they're maybe thinking of making a long weekend. Nope, can't do it. This is the kind of hail in here that'll kill you. Just simply put. I mean, you can die from a hailstorm. Hailstorm and a hailstone. It'll kill you. If you get up to softballs, you get up to golf balls and going to tennis ball and baseball. All right, so here's the inflow notch. The tornado is going to be right here southwest of Anadarko, barely. Now it's almost on top of Anadarko. Let's go to Brandon and look at the inflow notch right here. This thing is breathing, man.
Oh, the hook now, yeah.
It is breathing. It is breathing. Brandon, that thing is ramped up and it is back to crazy mode right now in that storm. It is really ramped up, and it is just to your southwest, Brandon. Give me an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. Literally, since we talked the last time, I mean, it's changing so fast out here. Our surface winds are now east-northeast instead of due east. So I would tell me the circulation's just to my southwest. I can't confirm anything on the ground, but there's quite a bit of rain, in that circulation. We thought we could see a funnel about 4 minutes ago, about 3/4 of the way to the ground, but it only lasted visibly for about 30 seconds, and then the rain came around it. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is a brief tornado hopscotching along just on the southwest side of Anadarko moving east. Back to you.
All right, great job there, Brandon, and he's exactly right. So this thing ramps up. Let me go to Links 3, velocity data, then we'll do a storm track, okay? Now, these are winds on the backside, all right? So there's Anadarko. Damaging winds now into Anadarko to 70 to 80 plus miles per hour. The dark blue, damaging winds on the backside of the mesocyclone, okay? On the backside of the mesocyclone. And so it's right over. I mean, it's basically right over Anadarko and between Anadarko downtown and down near Indian City and back to the airport. Mesocyclone is really just like right here. Right here. So what does max rot look like? Anything? Okay. And it's slightly
Southwest.
delayed.
Okay. Justin
Slightly
said
delayed.
Val has a pretty good shot of it.
All right, let's go back to Val. Val and Brandon are here. And Val, I'm looking back in there. Man, a lot of motion going on. A lot of motion. Do you see anything back in there? Go ahead, Val.
David, lots of motion right there. Lots of motion. And this is going to be on the south side of Anadarko is where we're looking at right now. Is where most of the motion is. I don't think it's going to go right through the main part of town, but I think it's going to skirt the south side. It's kind of what we're seeing right now. There's a ton of motion. Man, things are evolving so fast here. We have strong inflow right above us, and we're at the move because is there debris in there? Where?
The circulation's right over Anadarko High School.
Val,
Good grief!
Val,
Hey, there's
yeah.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Okay, all right, Val, here's the deal. Well, the shear rate maxed out now, basically right over downtown or just to your west and southwest. Folks in Anadarko, you might have a tornado either in town or moving into town right now. You folks in Anadarko.
The tornado warning extends over to Chickasha, so sirens should be sounding and folks should be getting ready in Chickasha.
Yeah, we've been talking about Grady County, County. Okay, Val, go ahead. What do you have?
Strong northeast inflow. We got leaves and stuff blowing in the northeast inflow. We're screaming east out of Anadarko. We're about 2.5 miles east of town, and we're getting probably 60-mile-an-hour northeast winds.
Okay, it's on the ground.
Location. David, there's something on the ground behind us.
I do too. No doubt about it. Okay, so you folks in Anadarko, you need to be in your safe spot if you're not already right now. If you live in Anadarko, if you live east of Anadarko, if you live northeast of Anadarko, you need to be in your safe spot. Tornado more than likely on the ground. Velocity says it. Val Castor's right there. He's had some debris in the air with leaves. Tornado is on the ground. We're going to call it tornado now. On the ground, it's going to be in, on, and just basically on top of Anadarko.
Does Val have power flashes? Is that what he said?
Is he a power
flash
flashes?
west of us.
Yeah, go ahead, Val. Give me an update. Go ahead.
We just had a flash, or possibly two, just west of us. We have our roof cam on looking straight west, so it's kind of hard to tell, but there was a power flash straight west of us in that rain. And let me tell you what, the inflow is screaming from the northeast. Debris in the inflow,
Yeah, look at
the
that ball.
leaves and small branches
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
We're out of it now a little bit, but it's still back behind us.
Okay.
That shot you're seeing is looking straight west.
Yep. No, great shot. That's the left side of the wall. And you know that. You're looking right at it. You're looking at the south side of the mesocyclone, which is right over Anadarko. So, all right, incredible. Great shot there, Val. Okay, let's go back to links 3, and I'm going to show you the hook. And here it is. There's the hook. This thing is still just a monster storm. And, folks, it's going to Chickasha. You folks in Chickasha.
7:15 is the time for Chickasha.
7:15. We'll do a storm track coming up. Folks in Chickasha, you're almost out of time. It's 6:56, folks. You've got less than 20 minutes in Chickasha. Verdon, talking about to the west, you've got even, we're running out of time here. So Chickasha, and let's get our bearings straight here. We're talking about the airport is right now. The airport's going to be on the north side. That's on the north side of town. But Norge is right here, just down Highway 92. Ninnekaw's here. The circulation is going to go on top of Chickasha or so very close, it won't matter. I mean, you cannot gamble this one out. There's the tornado. There's the tornado. Okay, so that's going to the airport. That is going to the airport for sure.
David, I have it going to the airport at about 7:13.
All right, let's do a storm track. Let's go to it. Links 4. Here's your storm track. And again, here's where the tornado is. It's right here. Here's Chickasha. Now, the exact path of the tornado is going to be on or maybe a little north of Chickasha, but do not gamble on this. Gambling with tornado storms is a lose-lose, I promise. So Verdon, 7:02, Chickasha, Airport, 7:13, downtown Chickasha, 7:15. If you know anybody that lives in Chickasha, you know you do. Agawam, Ninnekaw, Rush Springs, Ellick, Amber. You know people that live in Chickasha. Call them, wake them up, tell them there's a tornado that's going to be west of them, coming out of Caddo County, coming into Grady County, and there's a chance that it hits Chickasha or it goes maybe just north of Chickasha, but it's not going to miss you by much, okay? And this could be a significant tornado, all right? There's your path. And then I just want to take it out here. Blanchard, down the road, let's just say we'll kind of keep the middle of this storm track here. We made it wide in case it were to move, okay? Or turn to the left or maybe make a turn to the right. So we're going to keep it going east. So we're talking about Blanchard at 7:39. There's Blanchard. Norman, you folks in Norman, we're looking at 8 o'clock. Okay, 8 o'clock. I want to point out nothing severe in Canadian County except some wind, some small hail, and lightning and thunder. This is the big show right now. This one big supercell that's moving almost due east. The whole thing is trying to. It's almost. I'm still worried, a little bit worried. Norman, I think you're going to get it, but I'm still worried that it tries to occlude and tries to come north into Amber and Moore. And so you folks in Moore, you're going to get some rain and stuff, but I just keep an eye on this, okay? I am, we are, we're all watching it. All right, so it's moving east now, still moving east. It's moving almost due east, isn't it?
It is. It's really hugging Highway 62. It's now at County Road 2720.
That's right. Okay, let's go to Links 3, and there's where the tornado's going to be. Okay, this is Highway 62, okay? Highway 62, here's Verdon. All right, we're coming into Grady County here. It's going to be 3.7 miles southwest of Verdon. Brandon's right there. And area spin. All right, shear rate right here. What did Brandon say?
Tornado sirens in Verdon.
Okay, let's go to Brandon and get an update from him. He's looking back to the west and southwest. And Brandon, it is a tight area of circulation now. It has been on the ground. We've had debris in Val's shot coming around Val with leaves in the air, and those leaves just don't get there. They have to get sucked up to be dropped out. So here we go. Go ahead, Brandon. What's going on as you look back behind you there?
Yeah, David, that's what we've been watching from the last spot we were at as we've come east. I can see Val. He's probably about a quarter mile in front of me, but we took 60, 65 mile an hour northeast inflow winds feeding into this, and there is a tremendous feeder band coming in from the northeast side of this storm and just pumping more fuel and more fuel. So I'm sure that there's a good southeast fetch of wind coming in, just to the south of us too, but it's almost tracking due east on a beeline. So if you live from Verdon to Chickasha on Highway 62 or just a hair south, you need to take this storm serious. This thing means business, David.
No doubt about it. Great job, Brandon and Sammy. And no doubt about it. It's going right down Highway 62. It was trying to make a little bit of a wobble. It's lost the wobble. It's eastbounded down on 62. Verdon, you're in the next line of fire, followed by Chickasha. Let's do another storm track, and we'll take a look at it here on Links 3. And that's fine. Let's stay with that. Let's stay with 3 for now. There's the tornado coming right down 62. There's Caddo County getting into Grady County. That's the Grady County line, that black line right there. Okay? And this is the tornado warning now. All right, coming right down Highway 62. All right, and Jim Gardner's right there. Let's go back to Jim and get an update from Jim Gardner. And Jim, I have the tornado 1, 2, about 7 miles to your southwest. What do you think? What are you looking at right there? Go ahead, Jim.
Well, that's right, David. As we get around here, that's the town of Burton right there. We are just north of 62, and that is Burton. And I'm going to have to move, David. I'm starting to get some hail thrown out. We're probably about 2 miles away from the storm. I'm starting to get some hail thrown out here on top of me. But this thing is moving eastbound and down super fast, David. I mean, super fast. Right now, I am coming up to the north of Chickasha Airport, shooting back to the west there, and this thing is hooking eastbound and down, David, and there's a tremendous amount. If that tornado's not on the ground, then the hail and the lightning and everything else that's involved in this is going to cause damage, David. Like I said, I'm just now coming up on almost on the top of Chickasha Airport, shooting back, and you can see the town of Burton right there, and you can see, and if we pan back, David, that inflow cloud that Brandon was talking about, you can see it right there. There's a feeder band right there coming in from the north, coming back into that storm. And like I said, that's the town of Burton. That's Highway 62 coming into Chickasha. And I'm looking as we go to the south there, Rich, pan to your left. And that's the leading edge of it right there to my southwest. And it is getting ready to enter Chickasha, David. So this thing is hooking eastbound super fast. We'll keep you updated. Jim Gardner reporting live from Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job there, Jim. And let's keep this thing going here a little while longer. This thing is a big storm. It has produced at least a couple of tornadoes today. We had those live on the air right here at News 9 with Val and Amy Castor and Tom Pastrano. And then Val was very close to it just a few minutes ago when he had leaves coming out of the sky. Once again, it's debris that's been picked up. It's been pulled up into the updraft, and then it's going to be deposited. What goes up must come down, and that's with everything, right? So gravity always wins out on this deal. Okay, so I want to point out severe thunderstorm warning now for Canadian County. This storm is we're on the north side of it. And once you get up to Okarche North, we were saying that wind up in here is not that strong. This could intensify. But severe storm now coming into El Reno and Union City. Let me emphasize, not tornadic, but see this right here? Look at the wind. Look at there, good job. Look at the wind in that, boom. And look how it's enhancing as it's coming into the metro. So the wind is getting stronger. And this is going to be winds, going to be 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's the leading edge, that green that's headed towards us, right? Here's Oklahoma City. Going to be damaging winds in here. Okay, so that's going to be a problem. Hank's right here, and we're going to get Hank a little farther north.
And just to give you an update on the cold front, there's a north wind at El Reno, and a due east wind in Minco, and a southeast wind in Yukon.
Okay, so it's literally just, it's right in here.
Yes.
So this storm is going to outrun the front the way it's moving.
It easily could. Yeah,
it easily could. Okay, let's go back to reflectivity. I want to take a look at Jim's location here and see what we're thinking. Okay, let's kind of back out of this just a second. Let me get my bearings straight here. All right. Okay.
And we're still watching the storm crossing the Red River as well into far southern Oklahoma.
Yep, okay. I'd tell you what, Vaughn's in the metro. We have, let's see, Val's down here to make sure we get everything going right here. Okay, so the whole line, again, every bit of this is going to come through Oklahoma City. So we're all going to get rain, we're all going to get storms, but now for the metro, because of the cold front that's kind of undercutting these storms, which is a great problem to have, we're going to get more wind and hail. Mainly wind in Oklahoma City, okay? Winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. We're going to have some power outages here in Oklahoma City, sure, and that goes without saying. But our big concern is still the tornado warning going on down there. Let's go back to Val Castor and get an update from Val and check in with him. And Val, I know you're off to the east there, headed to the east. Give me an update on what you're seeing right now with that rotation that's now coming into Chickasha. Go ahead.
Okay, so David, I've got the camera over just to the north of the road. This is looking west-northwest. You can see that inflow band, pretty tight inflow band. We saw a ton of dust underneath that earlier. That's looking straight west down the road. You really can't see much because everything is completely wrapped in rain. There is evidence that there might be some extremely strong winds south of us and southwest of us. So bottom line here, David, is that the rotation appears to be wrapped in the rain right now, but it's still wrapped up hard, and this is a strong, strong storm. It's going to cause damage. Not if, it's going to somewhere. Back to you.
Okay, all right, great job there, Val. And again, Val's seen several tornadoes today with this thing, and it was going through Anadarko, then earlier down near Boone, down into Kiowa County. So, yeah, it's just, it's been a wild afternoon. We've had some big storms, then we've had some storms that have just really just brought us some rain, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing too crazy. But from Oklahoma City south, the instability is still much higher. Okay, let's go back to Links 3 and talk about what's going on. A little bit of a bow now trying to set up on this northern side. See this right here? See that bow? That's going to be a concern. All right, now we're talking about Chickasha. So damaging winds coming into the metro. And I'll tell you what, Greg, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get him. Let's go ahead and pull him east-northeast and start heading back.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, okay. And then get him farther east. Maybe let's talk when he gets near Norman. And we'll look at it there, but probably not. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so damaging winds without a tornado, you're going to have damaging winds coming into Chickasha. Winds going to be 60 to 70, maybe 80 miles per hour. So the area of spin now, here's Val, Brandon, there's Jim Gardner right there. We have JD down to the south. Jeremy Carter's down here. This is a big, big swath of wind. Let's go to shear rate. Let's see if we can pinpoint. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. It's still back to the west of Chickasha. And boy, it's got a heck of a wrapping gust front, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ball of wind. It's a ball of wind. The tornado signature is back here on 62 west of Chickasha. But the wind, the damaging winds are right here, wrapping to the east. You folks in Chickasha, you don't have much time. You've got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes or less. 5 minutes or less. You're going to get hammered. With damaging winds, the tornado's going to be up in here. Look at some of these velocity data sets we're looking at. Are those real? 73? Yeah, those are real.
Easily could be 70.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So-
the winds are picking up on the north sides of Chickasha now, too.
Yep. And this is going to be a southeast wind. So damaging winds developing in Chickasha, wrapping into where the tornado's going to be. Okay, there it is. Look at the wrap. There's the mouth. See that? Right? That thing is open, and it is pulling in rich, moist, unstable air. Okay? Coming through Chickasha. It's a wall of wind coming through Chickasha out of the southeast. You folks in Chickasha, get ready. It's going to be a ball of wind and hail like you probably haven't seen in a while, and the tornado is going to be just back in here.
And David, if you can go to our Chickasha cam, you can
All
see the wall of water and wind coming in.
Okay, if control room, when you get a second, just feel free to punch it up. Our Chickasha cam, and wow.
Just included part of the daylight so you could see the contrast.
Yeah, you're looking off to the south. Looking off to the south, and this is just what's going on into Chickasha. This is our live camera, part of our Pike Pass Skycam network from Chickasha. We're looking southbound just to show you the contrast where we have light and where we have just a wall of wind and hail and the possible tornado. All right, so tornado warning continues for Grady County, and here's why. Here's the hook, and two things going on. We've got hail wrapping it. Okay, look at this right here. Let's stop the radar for a second. I want to show you something pretty cool. All right, look how the rain and the hail is wrapping into a spiral. See that? Right there? That is wrapping into a spiral right there, okay? So it's wrapping it. That's where the tornado is going to be. It's completely wrapped in rain and hail, okay? And folks, that ball is going to go on top of Chickasha. It's going to go on top of Chickasha. It's still right back in here. It's still back in here.
And no debris being lofted that radar's picking up at the moment.
No. See, we can take our radar and we put it into what we just debris mode, if you will, and we can look up into the atmosphere and we can see if debris is being lofted from the ground up. And then sometimes when velocity data are so strong, there's no doubt about it.
And we just got a new sounding sent up, a weather balloon that was sent up at 7 o'clock from Norman. And definitely seeing the low levels are more favorable now in Norman for explosive development. The cap has weakened significantly. The wind shear has gone up. So everything that we expected to happen as the evening roll along is happening and coming to fruition as these storms are moving right into central Oklahoma.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we talked the low-level jets kicking in right now.
It is.
5,000 to 7,000 feet up. There is a conveyor belt of winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour right above your head right now here in central Oklahoma. And it's feeding this storm. And it's just feeding it, fuel, moisture, instability. And that's why this thing is not dying. If anything, it's getting stronger as it's now approaching the South Metro. So you folks in Chickasha, tornado warning, lowest level, center part of the house, right? You got to get there. If you live in Chickasha or north of Chickasha, near the airport, up to Amber, and then from Chickasha all the way east to Middleburg, eventually, and then to Blanchard. You got to get ready. You got to get ready. You got to get ready, go to your safe spot. You got to get ready to take your tornado precautions. The tornado is going to be right back in here. It's going to be right back in here. And it fluctuates. It strengthens, and then it weakens, and then but it's never really weakened where we're like, oh, it's over. No. Just slight intensity weakening, if you will, just the last half hour or so.
And they are already sounding the sirens in Blanchard.
Okay, sounding the sirens in Blanchard. And what Lacey was saying is that they did the sounding, release the balloon, take a sample of the atmosphere, and then just how the atmosphere is still very prime for tornadoes, right? And that sounding and that balloon launch was done out of Norman.
Justin has an update for you.
What's that? Go ahead, Justin.
No.
I cannot. Go. What's going on? Okay. All right. We'll get you figured out. Is he potted up, guys? Okay. We'll get him figured out. Let's make sure we got that going on. All right. So here come the winds now.
David, can you hear me now?
I can.
I can hear myself in the ear. I just wanted to make a note how you were talking about how the storms are intensifying. The entire line of storms have intensified. We have nearly 70-mile-per-hour winds on the south side of El Reno now along Highway 81, that tornadic storm near Chickasha. And just looking at the surface observations, pressures are falling. So these storms, as they approach I-35 from Oklahoma City south, should continue to intensify with that tornadic threat and also wind and hail as this line continues to go off towards the east. So definitely we're starting to see that low-level jet start to kick in with the deepening area of low pressure as that big jet streak runs over us. So again, we're just kind of getting started as we head towards the evening hours with the intense line.
No doubt about it. I mean, yeah, it's all coming together. And we said that we last week, over the weekend, we were saying, you know, evening tornadoes is a real possibility. I mean, it's not like, oh, we're losing the sun, man, the lights out, party's over, right? No. The low-level dynamics are very strong. The instability is still in place. And the upper storm with the jet stream, low levels, mid levels, it's here. It's overhead, and it's very, very dynamic. Okay, so tornado warning now for you folks in southern and eastern Grady County. Storms moving east. They'll have a speed at 40, 45. Yeah, boy, it's moving. Right now, hammering Chickasha. What's our Chickasha cam look like, by the way? Can you see it? Just curious what it looks like, Chickasha cam?
Lots of lightning, blinding rain.
Okay, all right, so there's Chickasha live right now from our Chickasha cam, part of our Pike Pass Sky Cam network. But they're just getting hammered with wind and rain and some hail. All right, it's going right down Highway 39. Eventually, 62, you can branch off, take 62 or 39 east of Chickasha. Okay, let's go back to Links 3. Look at the inflow notch right here. And then we're going to drop down the line or just a little bit here. We're going to jump up the line as well. So tornado warning, Chickasha over to Tabler, over to Middleburg, Winter Creek, Blanchard. Tornado warning continues for you. All right, so here's the ball that's swinging around, and everything is poking back to the area of circulation is pretty close to the airport right now. It's going to be back in here. Let's turn shear rate on. Let's see what we have here. And let's take a look. Yeah, right there. There it is. That's the area of tight circulation now, northwest of the Chickasha Airport, 1, 2, 2.5 miles. Okay? So that's good for Chickasha. You're still going to get wind and hail, right? But, yeah, the circulation is right here now. And sometimes when you look at reflectivity on radar, it can vary. It can be here, it can be down here, it can be a little farther south. But right now, it's north, and that's what I was saying earlier. It looked like it might go on or just north of Chickasha. So Chickasha, you're getting blasted with wind and hail and all the above, but could have been much, much worse, right? If this thing's moving due east.
And the hail core looks like it went just south of Pocasset, which is going to go right towards the Amber area.
Yeah.
And I put the swath on just to give folks an update on the hail swath, which is just massive.
Wow.
I mean, this is going to come into the south sides of the metro.
No doubt about it, folks. Yeah, again, this is all going to Norman, all right? This is all going to Bridge Creek and Norman. If you live in Norman, I don't even want to say it. We just did this. When was the big hailstorm? We lived a lot since then. It was this year. We had the big hailstorm.
Yes,
Anyway.
I'd have to look up the date.
I know.
Everyone there knows it, like the back of their hand.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Jim Gardner, get an update from Jim, and probably due to some lightning. Let's get a quick update from Jim with that. Go ahead, Jim Gardner.
Well, that's right, David. We are about 6 miles south of Will Rogers World Airport, trying to make it back. The lightning's trying to overrun us, David. We just had a big lightning strike right off our tail, and it started a big fire here. We saw some mercy lights going that way, but a tremendous amount of lightning out here, David. So people need to just stay inside because we got lightning popping all over us. Jim Gardner reporting live for Bob Bales, Cody's 9. Back to you.
Yeah, lightning obviously will spark some fires. The good thing about this is that right behind the lightning, we're going to get a ton of rain with this storm. It's coming down, and I mean in buckets for sure. All right, we're looking at the Southwest Metro here, and this is our Next Gen Live. This is our 1,000,000-watt radar, and this is going to be the leading edge of the gust front. See this right here? And we can lapse this for you. And and again, behind that front, you're not going to have a tornado threat. Out ahead of it, the tornado threat will exist. But the winds back in here from El Reno back down to west of Mustang, this little blob of green, winds 54, 58 mile per hour wind gusts now. So damaging winds, not crazy damaging, but damaging winds now from south of El Reno down to Powers, down to Union City. And that's going to Banner, that's going to Integris, Canadian Valley, that's going to Yukon, and that's going to Wild Horse Park, okay? Damaging winds. The brighter the green, and it's right here. Ignore this. All right, this is the reflectivity. We changed modes, and it's very, very sensitive. And it's picking up as Lacey kind of backs this up back and forth. You can see the damaging winds now coming into Canadian County. At least winds 50 to 60, okay? So it's severe, not crazy severe, but it's severe. Okay, then here's the gust front, right? Here's the gust front moving through. Okay, let's go back south again here. Look at reflectivity again. Let's jump back. All right, so I tell you what, let's come back to the north. Let me talk about the metro one more time here. So this is going to be a wall of water. Rainfall rates are going to be 1 to 2 inches per hour. And it's moving east, coming into the metro. Jim Gardner making his way back to the north. And I like that. I think that's a good idea. And let's back out of this. Let me see if Jim has a gap. I'm just curious here. No. Greg, I hear him. I hear him. Yep. Let's do it. Okay, all right, good job. All right, so Jim's in there. We've got Hank coming into the metro, Southwest Metro. Now, this is going to come across the city with winds, again, 50 to 60. I was just showing you that. Okay, let's get back down here again. Talking about the one tornadic supercell. This has produced tornadoes. The inflow notch is still alive and well. Here's Chickasha. There's where the tornado is going to be. It's north of Chickasha. And the tornado is going to be between Chickasha and Amber. It's right here. Okay, it's going to Middleburg, or just
Brandon
north
might
of
have a visual of that.
Let's do it. There's Brandon. He's looking right back to the west, right into the inflow notch. And Brandon, what do you think when you look back in there? Do you see anything that's, I know there's a lot of rain back in there as well, but it's definitely almost due west of you, maybe a little bit west-northwest of you, but probably 5, 6 miles away, not too far. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. We're actually still going east towards Blanchard. There's so much traffic out here, it's hard to find a place to pull over. But as I look back off to my northwest, there's a large, real large wall cloud. And then I can still see that feeder band coming in from the northeast side. But just about 30, 45 seconds ago, I'm 99% sure I could see a funnel underneath that lowering, probably about halfway to the ground between the cloud base of the wall cloud and the ground, hanging out there. A pretty well-defined funnel. I can't see it now because I'm in the trees, but I would definitely say if you live anywhere on the north side of Highway 62 all the way into Blanchard, you still need to take this thing serious and probably go ahead and get in your safe spot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Absolutely. Yeah, safe spot, yes, for sure, as this thing is coming in. Now, it's lifted a little bit farther to the north. Let's get back to Links 3, and then we want to talk about the storm that's going up into Logan County, okay? We've got other severe storms there. So everything is quickly changing. The dynamics are kicking in, and I know the sun is now set, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The weather has a mind of its own. It's got low-level dynamics, jet stream, upper storm system overhead right now. Okay, so here's the inflow notch. Northeast of Chickasha. Here's Amber. This is going to be the big-time hail core up in here, up to tennis ball, maybe even some baseball size hail. And we could even have some golf ball to maybe tennis ball size hail down here on the wrap. But everything's wrapping into about right here. Okay, right in here.
Circulation's very close to I-44. That is, see I-44 running straight through there.
Oh, yeah, right here. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's right. Yeah, go ahead.
So anyone traveling up and down, headed to Chickasha.
Yeah, no. If you're trying to get to Chickasha or vice versa from Oklahoma City, forget it. All right, so it's right, everything's trying to wrap up right in here. Boy, it did occlude, didn't it? It lifted to the north. All right, let's go to, it's just south of Amber. There's where the area of spin is. Let's turn on shear rate. And there it is. There's your area of spin.
That's Highway 92.
Crossing, yep, because 92 comes to Amber. Highway 92, and this is I-44. So just south of Amber, about 1.5 miles. Strong circulation now. Strong circulation. Possible tornado on the ground. If you live in Amber, I wouldn't chance it. You got to be in your safe spot. And then from Amber, folks, this is going to ride up 44. How many times have we done this? All right, so this is going to ride up 44. And again, this is going to go to Norman as it comes in from the southwest. Right? It's gonna certainly try. And it did occlude. It was moving almost due east, and now it's lifted to the north. And that's not good for the metro. It's not good for Bridge Creek. It's not good for Blanchard. How many tornado warnings have we seen, and how many tornadoes have we seen in the Bridge Creek area, right? All right, so looking at shear tracks, this is the area of spin over time, and you can clearly see where the area of spin, where it started, down near Altus, and here's where we are now, right? So pretty cool stuff. All right, now the storms down near Cement and Elgin and Apache, they're severe. They're going to Ninnekah, they're going to Rush Springs, but going to have nickel a dime, quarter-size hail. Winds in here are going to be 50 to 60, maybe 70, because kind of on the backside of this other storm, maybe 70, maybe 75. And then let's jump a little farther south here, talk about the storm that's, here's Duncan, Comanche, there's Marlowe. And let's lapse this. Is this moving more easterly? What is this? Since this is farther south, I'm just curious what this has done. No, it's still moving northeast. Yeah. So Purnell, Velma, Comanche, severe storms for you. These are not tornadic right now. We do have little pockets of maybe some weak circulation or some weak shear, but nothing off the charts down here. But that can change. Okay. These storms, southern Oklahoma. Down here in Cotton County, going to Stevens and Jefferson County, they are severe, damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, quarter-size hail, but not a tornado threat right now. But please, you have to watch these storms. If you live in Duncan, Velma, over to Katy, over to Wynnewood, over to Milo and Hilton and Ringling, we've got to watch these storms coming out of the southwest. Coram, get ready. Right now, it's just a wind and hail threat, okay? But again, moving northeast at 40, 45. Okay, let's come back to the city. And let's talk about the, again, supercell we have going on in Grady County.
The mesonet site that was southeast of Chickasha had a 58-mile-an-hour gust.
What direction from?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
The direction it came
It's
from.
right on I-44. You can see it from the, if that's what I'm thinking of, you can see it from the highway. It's right by the softball fields, by Chickasha softball fields on the southeast side of town. It's right on the, there's a guy, farmer in there. Rancher farmer, he's on his property. I think it's the same one. Okay, so a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and that just ripped through. Okay, just ripped through Chickasha. So that's going to Middleburg, going to Winter Creek. All right, we're going to do a storm track, and we're going to do a couple of storm tracks. And there's the northern storm, and boy, that's really lifting to the northeast. But Crescent at 722, this is not tornadic. It's actually, see the little green line right there? That's the saving grace on this. It's actually on or just barely behind the cool front, which is so great. That will kill that tornado threat. You're still going to have a damaging wind threat and a damaging hail threat somewhat, but you're not going to get a tornado when it's behind the boundary. If this were to lunge out ahead of the boundary, that would change things.
There
But right
should be a
now,
flash flood warning
we'll
for
do
the metro as well.
wind and hail. Flash flood warning for the metro?
Yes.
And David, there's a very interesting area near
I see it.
Mustang.
I see it.
It's kind of
Yep.
where the boundaries colliding. It's
Yep.
very,
I just saw
very
that.
interesting looking. It's trying to spin up.
Okay, there we go. So Hanks, right there, go to shear rate. Let's go to links 3. Okay, now again, this is barely ahead of the cool front. This is why this can still produce a tornado. Right now, this is going to be damaging winds in an area of shear. But see this little kink right here? Right here. Okay, Justin, is Hank?
Yeah, Hank's right there.
What's that?
He's looking southwest.
Okay, he's looking right at it. Okay, let's go.
I don't know if that's real or not, but that's almost 90-mile-per-hour winds.
Okay,
Just north.
let's take a look at some of the other radars, maybe TDWR, and just see what it has.
That was the TDWR,
That's what you were looking at? Okay,
Uh-huh.
what are we showing?
75.
Okay,
And this is Twin Lakes.
okay,
80.
81. Yeah,
I would say it's close to 80.
yeah, it's real. Okay, damaging winds now, folks. Damaging winds, Southwest Metro. Here's Hank. This is going to be, look how fast that changed. Look how fast we went from, 5 minutes ago, we're showing you winds?
There it is.
58.
Wild Horse Park, just north of Mustang.
Wild Horse Park, damaging winds, 80+ miles per hour now. It's going right down Southwest 59th Street. There's Sarah Road, and there's Mustang Road in Southwest 59th. Going to be winds 80+ miles per hour. We're going to get power outages if we don't already, and those are going to be coming in, so get ready. Here come the power outages. Here come the power outages. Folks, this is going to come right across Oklahoma City, damaging winds. Now, I want to point out, this is all wind in here, 50 to 60, okay? But this is a wind maximum of, again, 70 to 80 miles per hour. Right over Mustang Road. Shear rate has the wind, has a little kink right here. Is that ahead of the cool front? And if it is, by how much?
It is hard to tell.
Okay. Right. Well,
based on our measurements.
Okay.
It's hard. It's very hard to tell. I mean,
Okay.
you can tell the direction is coming in
Okay.
towards the radar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's behind, just behind, based on that. That's our live radar. It looks like the north wind goes over to
Yep.
Piedmont Road,
Yep.
and this is a little bit behind that.
And the old Xerox plant back to just east of Yukon. But here's where it is. What do you have right there in your
That's
query?
I-40,
Yep. What do you see? What are your winds
and
here?
let me query it. Right on I-40,
82.
82 miles per hour,
Okay.
approaching Yukon Middle School.
Yukon. Listen up. It's coming. Damaging winds right into Yukon. It's happening live right now. This is Next Gen Live. This is our million-watt radar. If you're flipping around, you're going to get delayed data. This is not delayed. This is live as I see it, as you see it. Okay? And we're talking winds 70 to 80 miles per hour. Coming right down Highway 66, coming into Yukon, 60 to 70, some gusts to 80. It's going to go right over Yukon. There's a little bit of data contamination there, but not much. It's coming right into Yukon. Look at this next wind field beginning to increase now, Lace.
Yep.
Southwest of Richland. Okay. All right. And we will do a storm track.
It's
on
this area
all of
just
this.
keeps concerning me. Right where the
kink
front
is.
meets, yes. We just keep getting these little areas.
Yep.
And that's what we're concerned about as the low-level jet kicks in, these very
Yeah.
tight, small circulations.
Yeah. Remember 2 years ago, we had the El Reno tornado.
Yes.
And it was horrible. And same kind of a deal. QLCS, yes, quasi-linear convective system. This is what this is. It's setting up to be. It's happening right now, live before your eyes. And you get these little areas we call short fuse tornadoes. It's not like the Grady Caddo County storm where you're watching it for many, many minutes and even hours on end. These happen so fast. That's why our live million-watt radar is so valuable to us and also to you, because we see this live. This is not delayed data, okay? A little bit of some spin in here, but not much. But this little kink right here, see this kink? And this is, another one trying to develop here. Not talking about a tornado yet, but these are areas that are concerning to us right now. As we see a little right over Mustang Valley Elementary School, it's going to the outlet shops. And and right in here, we see all the blue showing up. We're looking at winds in here of 60 to 70 miles per hour. There's a 73, there's a 61, there's a 68. So damaging winds now coming out of Canadian County into western Oklahoma County, Wiley Post, Bethany, Outlet Shops, Lillard Park. You're going to get hammered up to northwest Oklahoma City, up to the Village eventually. Look at this pocket of wind up near Richland. All right, so that's moving your way. Okay, so where you see the blue on this, the blue showing up is going to be an area of damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour and some gusts to 80. And it's, pardon me, it's coming right down I-40. It's moving from west to east, right down I-40. Okay?
Cassie has the track on that.
All right, let's do it. Let's do a storm track, Lynx 4. And again, she's done a storm track basically from where Brandon is up to the north. We're looking at more at 735. Okay, and what we need to keep an eye on is the area of circulation down here where the inflow notch is. Okay, so downtown Oklahoma City, that's with the action coming out of Canadian County. That's downtown Oklahoma City, 737. Norman, 738. The Village, 739. Again, these could be off by a minute or two. You know what I'm talking about here. Edmond, 746. Arcadia, 8 o'clock. Jones, 8 o'clock. Hara, 8:07. And Shawnee and Meeker, Shawnee at about 8:21. Chandler at about 8:37. So everybody here in the metro. Go ahead, Justin. Take it.
I got a report actually from my house as that went through. That circulation was about a mile south of my house. West winds, power did not go out, but it did flicker. Maybe 40 to 50 mile per hour winds that lasted about 30 seconds, then it was over. And now it's just a northwest wind at 25, she says.
Okay, all right, there you go. Well, that's good. If we could just get a quick punch of, winds 40, 50, 60, or 70, that's a lot better than having winds go on for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes at that speed. That's when things really start to break off and get real nutty. All right, so let's talk about our tornado warning down here. Let's get back to this, and we'll take a closer look at where this is on velocity data. I'll tell you what, just for fun, let's turn off the flood.
Do you want to go back to Lynx 3?
Yes.
There you go.
That looks pretty good, okay? And this is Lynx 3 now. And again, this is Middleburg, okay? This is Amber. Tornado warning continues for just north of Middleburg. And folks, it's going to Blanchard High School. Hank's in the middle of it. We're going to check in with Hank coming up. Hank's up in the metro.
David, Chickasha, northwest of Chickasha, when this blew through, there's a reporting station there, had an 82 mile per hour wind gust. So 82. 82. That's very significant, and that's with this portion of the storm. Yeah. So that was either on or very near where the circulation was, obviously, and you get winds to 80. If you got an 82, you've got a 92. If you got an 82, you got a 72. Okay. Just how it works. That is one small measurement of a large area of wind. And velocity data was saying at least 80. So, no doubt about it. So that just confirms what we've been saying. So area of spin now is going to be west of Blanchard. Tornado warning continues. And let's take a look at velocity data here, guys. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if, boy, it's tight. That's tight right there. And folks, that's going to go on and just north of Blanchard. And from there, it's going to try to go to Norman. And radar's still cranking out very large hail.
Yeah, baseball.
Headed towards at least the south sides of Norman.
Yeah. So if you, I hate to even say it, we said it 45 minutes ago. If you live in Norman, if you live in Norman or just south of Norman, prepare for golf ball to tennis ball to possibly baseball size hail. I know some folks in Norman haven't even had the repairs.
Right, that storm was April 28th was the damaging hailstorm.
Here we are. Still no repairs because it's so hard to get supplies in and home supplies. We get it. It's hard to get anything in right now, right? All right, so there's the inflow notch right there, southeast of Blanchard. Brandon is right there. Let's get an update from Brandon. He's looking back to the west. And Brandon, let's bring Brandon into the shot here. Brandon, circulation back to your southwest. It's still a ways away from you now. I know you're making your way east along with Val. What do you think? It's back in there. It's tucked back in there, wrapped in rain. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, visibility is really tough because of the amount of rain. But as we came through Blanchard, after we talked last time, I could still see that lowered area just off to my northwest. And there is still a tremendous amount of movement in these clouds and strong east wind. We're right here at Highway 62 and Highway 9, just south of Newcastle. Just a tremendous amount of motion in the clouds. So this thing's still got its act together and still got a lot of teeth. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, okay. You guys got something, Kelly? And Amanda, at the news desk, go ahead.
Yeah, David, want to talk about the storm as it went through Anadarko that you guys were tracking. Val was right in the middle of it, went through near downtown. They have some wind damage there, some tree limbs down, but they have a lot of power outages. In fact, there are a lot of power outages in that Anadarko area and to the east of there.
Absolutely. And then just about 20 miles north of Medicine Park, earlier on in the evening, we had reports of about 24 power poles that had snapped and power lines that were everywhere. Quick update on the power situation. OG&E, not too many right now, although their crews are on standby, but then some of the different electric co-ops, I'll just run through some of the numbers. Okay, there's OG&E, so you can see not too many in the metro, but the electric co-ops, wow.
Yeah.
Let me tell you these numbers. Caddo County, we have 4,689 members without powers. That's households without power. Grady County, we're getting close to 10,000 households without power there. McLean County, a little more than 1,000. Canadian County, we just saw that spike up, 2,524 households without power there right now, and those numbers seem to be growing.
And we're listening to the scanners on the west side of the metro to see what's going on in Canadian County. David's been mentioning that about the strong winds out there. We're following that, and also any hail reports that we get so far. Haven't had any reports on damage from that, but we have seen some pictures, and there's some good-sized hail.
Yes, so we want to check back in with David right now just to get another update as this line moves through. Yeah, and there's some of those power outages. So again, where the storms have moved through, thousands of Oklahomans right now without power, right? Thousands of customers without power. So not good. Okay, let's go to Hank and get an update from Hank, and let's take his shot. He's getting blasted right now in the metro. Hank, what are your winds, your exact location? Hank and Patty Brown, go ahead.
Mr. David, I'm at I-40 in Council, and this is a west to east wind. You can see it's about 60 miles an hour, what's coming through the outlet mall right now. You can see that sign in our front, but then I'll zoom in just a little bit. If you look at this street light up here, it almost looks like a hurricane with horizontal wind blowing about 60 miles an hour plus. David, back to you. Okay, all right, great job there, Hank. So you are at near the outlet mall. Is that what you said on I-40? Is that what you said, Hank? Yeah, I'm at I-40 in Council. I'm at the PA truck stop at I-40 in Council. Okay, there you go. All right, so everybody knows where that is, West Metro, and there's Hank. Let's take a look at his location. He is right in the middle of it. The winds are actually stronger, a little bit behind Hank and Vaughn. Yukon, down in Canadian Valley, we're seeing some winds back in here of 70. So Hank's winds, more than likely, will increase some. I'm looking at his shot right now as these come across the metro. So we're going to have damaging winds moving across a good portion of Oklahoma City, from the village back down to, downtown Oklahoma City. I mean, all the way south, all the way east.
It was a 70-mile-an-hour wind that came through El Reno.
Okay, that's what was measured?
Confirmed, yes.
Okay, boom, 70 right there. Okay, so 70 in El Reno. We're going to get 70 plus from east of Yukon now, a 60 up near Sundance Airport, but a 73. So 60 to 70 to 75 is going to be the common number, and we're going to get more people without power, okay? All right, so the green on this map, the green is the wind moving to the east across the city. Let's go ahead and lapse that. And shear rate is showing the leading edge of the wind. Not a tornado signature. We use shear rate for both, damaging winds and tornadoes, right? It does both. And right now, that's going to be damaging winds running from the village, up Northwest Expressway, down to Lillard Park, down to Will Rogers, and this is going to be, again, damaging winds moving from the west to the east at 40 to 45 miles per hour.
And if you look at the north end of this, it almost looks like a bookend vortex trying to form. I'm going to put it back in reflectivity, yes.
Right here.
So see where it feeds back in?
Yep. Justin, hey, let's go ahead and get Vaughn back east and back north on this little bookend thing that might be trying to develop here. We'll take a look at it.
Hefner Road and the Kilpatrick's kind of the vicinity.
Yep.
Northwest Expressway.
There's Hefner, the Northwest Expressway. And what are the winds back in here, Lacey? Surrey Hills, what do you got?
Let me see.
What, 70? 62?
65 is what I measured earlier.
Okay, so those might have come down some. Okay, so let's kind of back out, give everybody the big view. I don't want to forget about Logan County. Let's get up north. And we need to get up north here. And, okay, so severe storm, again.
Is now without power.
Crescent is now without power?
All of Crescent is without power.
Okay, no power in Crescent, completely out of power. And that's a storm that is now moving through Logan County. Get ready Mulhall, get ready Stillwater, Lake McMurtry, Lake Carl Blackwell, it's coming. We're talking about the wind is coming. Severe storm is coming your way. And you can check out some of the velocity data we have here. Again, the storm up into Logan County right now, it's not a huge wind field, but it is large enough. It is large enough, okay? So that is our problem, again, farther north. And you can see some of the brighter colors here. Also some nickel and dime quarter, maybe even some golf ball size hail. Let's turn on reflectivity for you folks in Logan County. And the hail's going to be right over Lovell, just east of Lovell. That's going to Orlando, Mulhall, Lake Carl Blackwell, Lake McMurtry, Pleasant Valley. Guthrie, you kind of missed out on the stronger winds in Guthrie. All right? Stronger winds are along this bow right here, right in here. So Midway, Mulhall, Orlando, yep. And here's Bob now. Bob's coming in from the east, and damaging winds are going to be in here.
The circulation just southwest of Brandon. Brandon's at Highway 62 and Highway 9, west of the casino.
Okay, let's do it. Let's come back south.
And the circulation there in the last scan has definitely come up. I'll show you what it looks like.
Okay, there's Val. Okay, yep, Brandon's right there. Let's go back to Brandon. Okay, Highway 62 and Highway 9, Riverwind Casino. Get your bearings straight.
The tornado warning is coming for Blanchard, for Cleveland County, and McLean counties.
Okay, there we go. So it just continues. All right, so Brandon's there. Val is a little bit farther to the east. Let's get an update from Brandon. Tornado warning continues, Brandon, for Cleveland.
Yeah, David, that's right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're still in the same spot right here at Highway 62 and Highway 9. The tremendous amount of rain, and we got quarter-size hail with occasional golf balls still, but they're being pulled in around the mezzo. It continues to switch directions. So, 1 minute the rain's from the south, blowing from the south to the north, and then 2 minutes later it's from the northeast. And even though it's not a tremendous amount of hail, the ones that do hit are being driven by 40, 45, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So, this is still a dangerous storm. Nothing to take lightly, especially you live on the south side of Norman as it comes east. Back to you.
No doubt about it. It's going to Norman, and it's going to go right down Highway 9, at least the worst part of the storm. Now, we'll take a look at some of the hail. Great job there, Brandon. Stay safe. Brandon is on an area of spin. Let me show you what it looks like. Links 3, tornado warning now for McLean County, coming out of Caddo County, and the area of spin is right there. He's just to his southwest, and he is literally inside the bear's cage right there. It's at Northeast 40th and basically Highway 62, okay? Here's Riverwind Casino, okay? Here's Council Avenue. This is going to be Highway 9. There's the spur, Highway 9 that runs from west to east, and right there is the area of spin. Let's take a look at shear rate. Okay, I don't think your mic was on.
Oh, there we go.
Say it again.
I was saying the storm-produced golf balls confirmed 4 miles northeast of Blanchard, so that's also coming in to the Norman area, potentially more.
Well, his hail, he had at least, he was fighting some quarters in there. Okay, so here's the area of spin now, right here, just to the southwest of Brandon. I was showing you that on velocity data, and here's where it is, area of spin, okay? And we'll get a storm track on that. That's going right now, folks. That's going to go on the south side of Norman, at least the main area of spin. It's going to go down Highway 9, but it's going to get into the south sides of Norman. All right, so let's turn our hail on here. There's your new tornado warning. Let's back out of this. Tornado warning now for you folks in Norman. It does not include Moore. Moore, you're getting wind, but the tornado threat is going to be to your south, okay? And that's going to run from where Brandon is. Area of circulation is right here. You can see it showing up on shear rate, and it's going to move east-northeast or almost due east. But here's what you're thinking, well, why is the tornado warning so wide? Well, because for error, and for the fact the error would be if this storm were to occlude and lift to the north out ahead of this line of wind that's coming through Oklahoma City. So if this gets occluded and lifts to the north, it goes ripping through and on top of Norman. Okay, go ahead.
Also watching, we kept talking about these little kinks along the line. There is almost a hook developing in reflectivity over just very near downtown. Okay. That is also starting to get a little bit of a kink in it. So I just want to show you real quick because we got so many storms to watch, but you can kind of see right here, right over I-40 and Western.
It's there.
And then if you look at it on reflectivity, I'll go back to that.
Yep.
You can see it, just almost a little hook in the precip. So.
Okay, let's see, right.
Just to the southwest of downtown. So that's our live radar. And then when you look at velocity there, that's just an area where the red is at least hugging the green.
Yeah, it's right. It's right there. I see it. No doubt about it. I mean, that is a mesocyclone. It's very small, and those are the scary kinds because they can go from,
Weakened. There we go. That's what you want.
It did.
Go down just a little bit.
And that's why these are so different than their large and in charge brother or sister that become so large and supercells that drag on for hours. These spin up, produce a tornado, and then they're gone. So that is a problem. That is a problem. What's Hank saying? Justin, who has something? I can hear somebody. Somebody getting...
Val was telling me he's getting in position. He sees a possible lowering to his southwest. Vaughn was on 40 with that little kink on Interstate 40 that Lacey was talking about. He could not see any power flashes or any lowering to his west, but he's going to be watching that.
Okay. All right. Great job. Okay. Everybody seems to be doing a pretty good job with being in position. There's a lot going on, folks. A lot of storms for sure. Okay, so damaging winds, 60 plus now. Here's the Newcastle Fire Department, and there's Newcastle High School. This is moving from west to east. Let's back out of this, just get our bearings straight a little bit here. And here's Hayday. Hayday, this pocket of wind back to your southwest, it's serious, okay? It's right over the Newcastle Casino. That's going to be at Highway 62 and I-44. And that wind, let's lapse that. Let's see what it's doing here on the lapse. And let's see,
the sirens are sounding in Norman.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Cassie. Sirens now going off in Norman for good reason. Area of spin back to the southwest, and even in Moore, which I have zero problem with. I'd rather get everybody in the safe spot, go to the lowest level. So let's talk about that path of the strong circulation. It's right here for now. It could change, but it's right here. See how that kind of is swinging in? It's right outside of Brandon's window. He's right underneath it. It's going right down. Look at the inflow notch. It's right here. And it's going right down Highway 9. So I want to point out there's going to be hail, quarter, golf ball size hail. And we're talking maybe even larger than golf ball. Tennis ball, possibly. I know, coming into Norman again. We did this, like Lacey was saying, April 28th. Remember that? I know you all do down in Norman. And here comes a big hail core. I want to point out this hail core does not look as large as what we had on April 28th, but you're still going to get hail. All right, so it's coming into Norman right now. The tornado threat is back here, is right where Brandon is, going right down Highway 9. Brandon, Val is on the eastern sides of this. Okay, I see Val shot, and I want to put this into motion. You can see the spin right here. Okay, let's go back to Hank, and Hank's back into the metro here, and then we'll go back to Brandon. Let's get an update from Hank. And Hank, give me a guesstimate on your winds right now, and we'll take a look at your shot. We have you up. Go ahead, take it, Hank. What do you think? I don't hear him. Well, I hear him, but I don't hear him.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. You got me?
Yep. You sound great. Go ahead, Hank.
So we're on I-40, just about Shields. We're just about downtown at the moment, and I was just telling Justin, it's almost feels like a tropical storm out here, where it's very foggy, high winds, rain that's blowing from sideways, north to south. The atmosphere is just unleashing the moisture, and it feels very reminiscent of being in a hurricane or in a tropical storm, according to the wind levels. Back to you, David.
All right, here we go. So once again, Hank's been talking about this wind. He had winds 60 plus a little bit earlier, and boy, look at the rain, folks. So flash flood warning in effect for Oklahoma County?
Yes.
Rural flood. What are we doing? Flash flood?
I'll have to go back and look.
I think it's flash flood.
I was just looking, though, at the sirens are sounding in Moore.
Yeah.
So if you want to address the radar for folks in Moore.
Yeah, we'll get back into that.
The tornado threat is very minimal there now.
No, it's well to the south now, and I get it.
To the east now.
I get it. It's more America, right? And we all know all the tragedies that weather has impacted more. And you know what? It's fine. But here's the deal. Here's the deal with the circulation. All right.
It is a flash flood warning.
All right, flash flood warning.
Hey, David.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt, but Brandon has leaves falling from the sky and golf ball size hail right now. So.
Okay, boom. Let's go back to Brandon. And he's down here where the circulation is. That means if he's got leaves falling from the sky, he's had a tornado. Let's go to Brandon and find out what's going on. Brandon, go ahead. You're on.
Yeah, David, that's right. We've got consistent golf ball size hail here, right here on Highway 9. We're approaching the Riverwind Casino. Just about a half a mile back to my west, we came through a real strong area of wind that wrapped hard from right to left, south to north. And then about a quarter mile further, it came from the north to the south, and we had leaves and some sticks and everything falling out of the sky. So there may have just been a small tornado on the south side of Highway 9. Back to you.
Okay, wouldn't surprise me at all. So he said there might have been a small tornado. That's exactly where it would be. So you folks in Moore, that's what I'm talking about here. I certainly will. Well, I think it's fine that they're blowing the sirens in Moore. That might have been by the officials simply because of the damaging storms coming in with the wind and the hail. You can blow sirens for that. But the tornado threat is well south of Moore, okay? Moore is not in the tornado line. You're not in it. What you got?
Looking at the line of damaging winds that have pushed through Moore, there's a little kink on the eastern sides. This is east of I-35 and north of Highway 37. So that's one area along with the damaging winds that blew through. Most of Moore they've already got the east to northwest or west to northwest wind, which eliminates the tornado risk. There's the location of the little area there that tried to kind of notch up. It's already weakened.
Yeah, it's right there. I see it. No, it's definitely there. I mean, it's definitely, there's a little bit of torn away right there. It's weak, but it's definitely there. But this is not, right now, no, this is not producing a tornado. There's winds 50 to maybe 60 that are headed towards Lake Stanley Draper. If you know anybody that's camping out at the lake, they got to get off the lake. You got to get indoors, okay? All right? But there's no risk of a tornado right now in Moore. And there's nothing headed towards you in Moore, okay? Even though the sirens are blowing, that's okay. I'd rather be, going that way than go the other way. Okay, so here, look at the big hail now. It's coming into Norman. The hail's gotten larger. Norman's going to get trashed again.
It's right on the river coming into the western sides of Norman.
Yeah, here's the deal, folks. The hail core's
Val has quarters now.
Yeah,
it's increasing.
All right, let's go to Val Castor. He's in on the western sides of Norman. And I hate to even say it, Val, we did it last April, and we're going to get another big hailstorm going through Norman again. Unbelievable.
Oh.
And Val, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Val.
Okay, so David, we have hail is increasing in size. It's getting bigger. We're getting quarter-size hail falling now, and we are at Lindsay and I-35 in Norman. And something else, too, we had a really large lowering, almost a wall cloud that was visible 5 minutes ago. That was a golf ball that just hit the top. So the hail's gotten bigger. We're getting some golf balls falling now. We cannot see the wall cloud now. It is probably still just barely southwest of it, occluded in the rain. Our winds are picking up now, David. We're getting north winds now. We're on the north side of the mezzo. Probably 50-mile-an-hour north winds and golf ball size hail. Winds are picking up fast. Back to you.
Okay, Val, what do you guesstimate your winds are right there with golf ball size hail?
I just got another crack in the windshield. Golf ball size hail and winds to 50 right now from the north, and it's getting stronger too.
And the hail core is larger north of him at Tecumseh and I-35.
Absolutely. Val, I don't know if you could hear Lacey, but the hail core is actually much larger to your north with probably tennis balls in it. It's going to go over. It's going to go, you know what? It's going the same area that got absolutely hammered April 28th. All right.
Wow.
If I had a quarter for every time Val Castor's lost the windshield. All right. Here it is. Here's the main hail core. Here's Max Westheimer. Norman, here it comes. Here comes another hailstorm. It's now crossing. Here's Sooner Mall. It's not as big as the April 28th hailstorm as far as all of this being tennis balls and baseballs, but there are pockets of quarters and golf balls and probably some tennis balls. All right, so it's not going right now, it's not going to be as damaging, but it's not good. Okay? All right, so area of circulation is down here where Brandon is, right here. He's looking right at it, and he has hail down here. Okay, so let's do a storm track. And I tell you what, so this is going to be severe thunderstorm warning still for Oklahoma County. We'll talk about the Oklahoma City area, but let's talk about the tornado warning down here. Circulation is going to be where Brandon is, and we'll zoom in here a little closer, but doing your storm track, we're looking at, again, the circulation is going to go, it's going to go on or just barely, no, it's going to go right over downtown. I was trying to be optimistic here and think it was going to go at least a little bit south, but it's not. It's going to go right over downtown. All right, so OU campus, downtown Norman, 8 o'clock. All right, Lake Thunderbird, 8:11. Little Axe, 8:16. Tribby, 8:30. Macomb, 8:33. Shawnee, 8:41. Seminole, 9 o'clock. Bowlegs, 9:02. Wewoka, 9:17. Cromwell, 9:21. Holdenville, 9:25. 9:25. I mean, this thing is moving, right? It's 8 o'clock. I mean, we're talking these things are, yeah, they're moving every bit of 40.
Val's getting 65.
Okay, let's go back to Valcaster. He's right here, just barely north of Brandon. And you got 65-mile-per-hour wind with big hail. You're going to have problems. You're going to have damage. Folks, I want to say this again. You got to move away from the west windows.
Hey, David.
Move away from the west windows. Yep. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, some of the hailstones are a little bigger than quarters. There's not a lot of the big ones. I'm going to zoom up here and see if you can see the splashes from some of this hail. There's just not a lot of it, but some of it is bigger than golf balls. Oh, there you go, right there. You see that?
Oh, I see the splash. Yep.
Yep, that's it right there. So our peak gust was about 65, but there wasn't a lot of hail. Some of it was probably 2 inch, just a little bigger than golf balls, and that appears to have kind of moved off. The hail, well, here it comes back again. Never mind. It's back again.
Yeah. Well, Val, what's funny, looking at radar, there are pockets. It's not like there's one big hail glob. There's pockets where you have hail for a mile and then you don't have hail. And that's what it looks like, exactly what Val is describing on radar. So that is Norman right now. It's a west wind, winds 50 to 60 with nickels and dimes, quarters, and occasionally getting some golf balls. Is that accurate, Valcaster?
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are just a little bigger than golf balls.
Okay.
Not a lot. Not a lot of them, but some.
Okay. Well, Val, you and I both know it's exactly what Norman doesn't need, for sure. Okay. All right,
yeah,
Val.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's just a mess. Okay, great job, Val and Amy. Okay, let's go back to Links 3. And, again, this is going to be, well, obviously, News 9's right here. Vaughn's up here. There's a kink up here we're watching. Velocity data. It's not crazy across the metro right now. Hanks in Midwest City. And what do we have up here? What's going across I-35 right now down near Frontier City? And 39, yeah, 40, yeah. Okay, what's our live look like?
There it is, showing the exact line of where the damaging winds are, if they're damaging, which is basically now Midwest Boulevard.
Yep, right here.
Both Vaughn and Hank, when they crossed that line, they had 30, 35 tops.
Yeah, well, that's what velocity data is showing now. Okay.
So they can verify that.
So it's technically still severe, but it's definitely weakened.
Not what it was on the west side of the metro at all.
It's windier behind it with 40 to 45 west winds,
but we're not talking about crazy damaging winds with that. Okay, so that's a good thing. All right, let's kind of back out of this just for a second. Let's just get the big overview. I just want to talk about.
Storms are approaching Stillwater.
Yeah,
as well.
That's exactly what I wanted to get up here. Hey, Ponca City, Newkirk. We haven't forgot about you, but you really haven't had anything up here that's been a big concern. You've had a little bit of lightning and thunder, heavy rain, maybe some small hail, but nothing crazy into K County. Okay. Now this storm that's been now leaving Logan County, moving into Noble County and Payne County, it's moving northeast, and we've got some wind in here. Winds are going to be 50 to 60 as it basically heads towards Stillwater. So you folks in Stillwater, get ready for winds 50 to 60, nickel and dime, maybe some quarter-size hail. Okay, so that's going to be scooting across all of Payne County. All of Payne County, and it's going to Glencoe. It's Perkins. A little bit of hail up here, but I tell you what, the hail sizes have come down up north. Yeah, nickel and dime size hail. So it's come down. Look what it was putting out. Now, boom, light green. Back to the dimes. Back to the dimes. All right, by the way, you'll see this product only on News 9. So if you're flipping around, you're only going to see it here. All right, so that's what's going on to the north of us. Okay, so back into the metro. No big hail here, small hail, but notice what's going on down here. Yeah, we've got the big hail down here for sure. Tornado warning does continue, and we'll jump back into that. Again, that's going to be for the Norman, South Norman area. Hail sizes, the radar is saying up to tennis ball, up to nearly baseball size. I think that's a little bit overdone, just because our trackers are right there. Okay, so Val's back here. There's the Sooner Mall. He's going down Lindsay. Val's going down Lindsay and Norman. And the area of spin it's right here, but it doesn't look like it's as tight.
It's very stretched out.
It definitely has elongated. It's right here.
Yeah.
Brandon's right there.
If I lapse this, you can see the whole thing. It's a big area of spin.
Yeah. It's right here. Okay, so here's the deal, Norman. You're out of the threat of any tornado at all. It is well east of you. It's now here. Let's go ahead and zoom into these streets. And this is going to be Highway 9. Washington Irving Middle School is here. Circulation is going to be right down in here. It's right here. This is where the whole thing is spinning still. Brandon's right there. Let's get an update from Brandon on Highway 9. And Brandon, the tornado warning continues, but it has weakened. It's not quite like what it was. It's kind of stretched out. Not as tight as what it was, but you're pretty close to it right now. Go ahead. Give us an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. We're just on the east side of Norman on Highway 9. Haven't had any hail for about the last 3 miles now, but, man, on I-35, as we came up north where it makes the jog across the river, golf ball size hail was 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds being driven, and then everyone had parked underneath the overpasses, and I-35 was at a standstill. We had to barely sneak around, so still a lot going on out here. Still got 30, 40, at times 50-mile-an-hour winds. Right now they're out of the south. So I'm trying to get back out in front of it, and we'll see what happens. Back to you.
All right, great job there, Brandon. And Brandon had a report of 3-inch diameter hail at Alameda and 24th Street down in Norman. 3-inch. So that will blow out windows, no doubt about it. Okay, let's go back to links. I'll tell you what, I kind of want to show you the big view here.
Okay.
Kind of back
Porter
out.
in Maine getting reports of broken windows there as well. Those poor folks in Norman.
Porter in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were saying tennis balls, but man, a lot of it was nickel and dime and quarters and golf balls, but there were some larger than that. So here's the inflow notch. Just kind of set the stage for you. There's the inflow notch clearly showing up, right? Brandon's right there. Val's in behind it, and they're both watching this area, which is just east of the Lloyd Noble Center, where there's an area of spin, okay? All right, and that's moving east. Here's your hail core. Norman up to Hayday. Norman Regional Healthplex, it's moving east of Franklin to Lake Thunderbird. Lake Thunderbird, you're going to get hammered. And then from Lake Thunderbird up to Stella. And that's going to be going to Shawnee. That's going to be going to Shawnee. Okay. All right. Go ahead, control room. Chen, if you want to bring that up, that'd be fine. Okay. And we have a hail pick from Norman. And wow, there you go. So that's... Okay, go ahead, control room. Take Amanda at the desk, please.
You can just sound my mic over this picture, because this picture comes from one of our News 9 viewers, okay. Taylor Carneth, and he took this picture on Main and Berry in Norman. Yeah, and that's 2 to 3 inch. So we've had now several reports at Main and Berry, Alameda and 24th, which is very close, but that's okay, that's pretty close to a tennis ball. So more damaging, hail. Just ripped through Norman. All right, and it's still hailing there. Folks in Norman, bless your hearts. All right, let's get to it. Let's go back to Link 3. And here it is. There's the inflow notch where the tornado warning continues. The tornado threat is over for Norman, at least for downtown Norman. East Norman, yes. You got to be in your safe spot. If you live, I call it, again, along and north of Lake Thunderbird, it looks like it might be tightening up.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom into the street there.
Right there. Right there. That's it.
That's 48th.
48th. And Lindsay. This is Lindsay eastward. Right?
Yes. Yeah, you're correct.
48th and Lindsay. Mm-hmm. And again, Norman's back in here. This is downtown Norman, OU campus. But the area of spin is going to be back in here.
Right there.
There it is. Yeah, it's tightening up. Okay, so the tornado warning continues for eastern Cleveland County. If you live over towards Twin Lakes, if you live over towards Lake Thunderbird, this is Lake Thunderbird right here. If you live in and around the lake, you need to be in your safe spot, because this thing is not over with yet. Remember, this is the same storm that has produced tornadoes we had live on the air. Okay? So Brandon's there. Was that a power flash? It looked like a power flash in Hank's shot.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
You've got Hank on the line.
All right, let's go to Hank and get an update from Hank. He's in the Southeast Metro here, and then we'll do some storm tracks, okay, as we bring this stuff east. Hank, give us an update on what you've seen here in the last 10 to 15 minutes. What's the latest?
David, I'm on I-40 at about Choctaw Road, and you know, it's just, I've been driving through rain for about the last 15 or 20 minutes. Once I crossed out of the north winds, the rain let up some, and the south winds were not near as strong as Justin mentioned earlier. Still, though, as we continue east on I-40, there's still 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds with some occasional gusts. Right there, we just took a gust that was higher than that, with pretty heavy rain. Matter of fact, we're getting into a pocket of heavier. I can see the lip. We're coming out underneath the lip right now, and right here is probably the heaviest winds we've experienced in the last 10 minutes or so. They're probably upwards of 50, 55, 60, guessing as I'm driving down the road, David. Back to you.
Okay, there you go. So from Hank, again, over near Choctaw, winds 50, upwards up maybe close to 60 from time to time. So 40 to 50 to 55. Okay, so what's that, Lace?
The circulation that Brandon is on is actually lifting north at the moment. It just kind of surged north, now north of Alameda and 48th.
Okay, yeah, no, wow, look at that.
So
it's
from
included.
Lindsay to north of Alameda, and I'll put it back in velocity.
Okay, here it is. Okay, so where's Val and where's Brandon?
So Val is right here.
Okay, got Val. Okay, and then Brandon's here. Look at that, folks. Okay, so the tornado warning continues. This is going to be for eastern Cleveland County. This right here, and notice how, folks, this has been moving like east-northeast for days now, and just in the last, now it's wobbled some, sure, it's another wobble, but boy, it's really made a turn. Look where it was, and it's really making a turn now. Okay, so this is going to be turning up towards Franklin, little small community of Franklin. Let's back out of this just a second here, and look at the cities are a little farther north, and there's area of spin right there, Lace, so okay, right there. It's going to Franklin. Lake Stanley Draper's up here. It'll probably miss and go east of the lake, but it's going to try to go right over Twin Lakes. But area of spin there. Area of spin there.
Yeah, look at it on shear rate.
There it is. It's right there. It's right here. That's the area of spin, okay?
And getting reports just north of there. This is on 48th. Just north of there, northeast 48th and Tecumseh. Reports of near baseball. Some of the reports are saying at least baseball-size hail, and that's one of the area that was completely trashed back in April.
Yeah, north sides of Norman, then from there eastward.
Yes.
Yeah.
So big hail and still the tornado potential.
Yeah, yeah. Tornado's going to be here. Hail track. This is what it's done, moving across Norman, and it is still hailing there for sure. Still coming down.
Hank just had a report of 60-mile-per-hour south winds with some blowing leaves in the air, and he's on 40 there, east of the metro.
Okay, let's come back north here. There's Hank. Okay, well.
He's driving east, and it was the right side of the vehicle the winds were coming from.
Well, okay, we have a little kink here, and look at the striations in that wind.
Wow. Yeah, like little perturbations, like you threw a rock in a pond.
Yeah. I mean, it's waving. There's so much momentum and velocity going through there that it's starting to wave a little bit. That's pretty cool. Okay, that is crazy. All right, and winds are going to be, not crazy, not out of control, but enough to bring down power outages and do that mess. But wind's going to be 50 to 65 miles per hour. Like Hank said, in the southeast metro, it's going to New Walla, it's going to McLeod, it's going to Dale, it's going to Twin Lakes, and it's going to Shawnee. Okay, let's go to Links 4. Let's do a storm track kind of on the whole line, at least part of the line. We'll get one of these out of the way, then we'll do another one to show you some other storms and kind of give you the whole thing. But again, the eastern edge of this, I know it's raining in Luther and Choctaw, but we kind of broke down kind of the stronger part of the storm and leaving East Edmond now over the southeast metro, eastern Cleveland County down to, far southern Cleveland County. And you can see all your cities in here. Then over the left here, Choctaw, right about now. Jones, about 8:10. Meridian, 8:12. Etowah, 8:14. Luther, 8:16. How about McLeod, 8:20. And Shawnee, 8:25. And Wellston, at about 8:26. Macomb, 8:28. So Lincoln County, Pottawatomie County, Seminole County, let's just make it easy on you. It's coming, and it's got wind in it. Winds 60, 65. It has hail in it. And we now have reports, and our trackers have been in it, nickel, dime, quarter, golf ball, tennis ball size hail in Norman right now with the main supercell. that is just pounding East Norman, and that is going to northwest Pottawatomie County. You folks in Shawnee, back up north to the casino, need to be preparing. That means protecting your property, moving your vehicles inside, under something, whatever. But you're going to get, at this point, you're going to get a damaging hailstorm again in northwestern Pottawatomie County, leaving Cleveland County. All right, so any crazy rainfall amounts, by the way? We have any reports of any flooding that we've heard of? The storms have been moving fairly quickly, and our trackers
Not
haven't
here
seen.
in the city. No, Highway 81 near Chickasha earlier had some flooding issues.
It's just typical south of 44.
But I haven't seen anything of significance as of yet. Doesn't mean it's not happening.
And most from the trackers have just been some curbside, flooding.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, so that's good. That's a good thing. Even though the flash flood warning continues, we've not had any crazy flooding. Okay, so everything again moving off to the east at 40, 45. Everything's still moving. We talked about this all day, how fast it would be moving, and boy, it certainly is. Okay, let's jump back north here real quick. Let's stay with Links 3, and we're going to jump back north. I just want to talk about the storms up here. We have Bob up here today. We have Tim up here, and these storms are not severe. The storm coming into Pawnee and Glencoe and Perry is no longer severe. Still can see winds 40 to 50. It's going to Sooner Lake. Schuyler back to Newkirk, Ponca City. Thunderstorms up here, not severe. Lightning, thunder, small hail, gusty winds. So right now, from Logan County north, these are not what we call a big deal. Okay.
With the tornado warning ongoing down in Norman, getting reports that there have been power flashes. So on our camera, we haven't seen them. I know our trackers are right there, but that tornado could still very easily be on the ground.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And look at the inflow notch on that, Lace. I mean, that thing is really ramped up. Here's the inflow notch right here. See this? Coming in. I mean, it's right here. Val's on the south side. Let's get an update from Val Castor. He's going right down Highway 9. And Val, again, circulation is a little bit to your north. Val, we've got other reports, not only from you, but from just damage of larger than 3-inch diameter hail scattered into parts of Norman. I mean, talking about some big, nasty, gnarly hail. Go ahead, Val.
Yeah, so David, we are headed east on Highway 9 right now. The rain's getting heavier. We're not having hail right at the moment. The biggest hail we had at 24th and Lindsay on the southwest side of Norman was 2-inch. So that's slightly larger than a golf ball. So we drove east on Lindsay all the way through Norman. There was a lot of small branches on the ground, a lot of leaves. Even in one case, there was a large branch on the ground, probably blown by the wind on Lindsay Street there. So definitely evidence of a lot of hail that fell in Norman. We didn't really stop to see if there's damage on cars or anything like that, but I guarantee you there probably was. Right now, we're going to try and stay up with this mezzo here, David. Back to you.
Okay. Hey, Val, here's the deal. Listen up here. Power flashes now being reported just to your north, and that circulation has really ramped up. It's north of the lake, Val, but it's kind of lifting and it's kind of intensifying. Power flashes are either, obviously, from a tornado or from damaging winds. It's going to be close. It is spinning, but it is getting a little bit stronger. So if you can, get east and then get back north. And let's also get Brandon north as well, Justin. Let's get him in that if we can. Okay, great job, Val and Amy. Wind and hail with that tornado threat. Okay, let's go back to Links 3 here. And Cassie, when you get that one shot up there, boy, that is impressive. Boy, that's some ugly hail. Your mic's not on. Sorry.
3-inch hail, teacup size hail, East Norman. So we've been talking about that, but the hail reports coming out of Norman are horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah. I mean, like it's not as widespread as what it was.
No, right, and not as many of those large stones from what we can tell, but broken windows at least.
Yeah, so we did it again. Not as bad as what we did on April 28th, but yeah, we did it again. Okay, so area of circulation now is north of Lake Thunderbird, okay, and it's lifting to the northeast. It's what we call occluded, or it's lifting to the northeast. And again, these things wobble. It's an area of low pressure. They wobble just like a hurricane, all right? Hurricanes wobble all the time. Low pressure wobbles. It's being pulled and pushed by forces in the atmosphere, the jet stream, low-level jet, higher instability, the jet stream venting over the top. Lots of things cause storms to migrate, kind of lift, and that's exactly what's going on right now. Lacey, why don't you take that for a second?
Get some water there, David. Tecumseh Road and 84th Avenue northeast in East Norman, just north of Lake Thunderbird. That's where we have the circulation pinpointed right now, and it is still making that trek off towards the northeast. That just lifted further to the north. So that's the very latest scan. It's now between Tecumseh and Franklin Road. So folks in the Norman area, very familiar with this. If this is your location, make sure you are listening to us from your safe spot. This continues to track to the north and northeast. You should be alert from Bethel Road all the way up to Stella and Stella Road as this lifts towards kind of that far north finger of Lake Thunderbird. So trackers have been watching this. We've had reports of some power flashes off and on. David mentioned that. Can't confirm that this is a tornado on the ground, but there's at least damaging winds occurring right there. David, you good?
Yeah, I feel good.
Pictures of hail as well,
Yeah.
ready to go. I've just got a
Go ahead.
couple.
Go ahead. Control room, take Cassie and take her shot there. Let's take a look at these hailstones.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple of pictures up here, but we are just constantly getting bombarded with
I don't think your
all kinds
mic's on.
It's good.
I think you are now.
Is it on?
Is it on?
Now you sound amazing.
Okay. Well, we're getting bombarded with all kinds of pictures, especially coming in out of the Norman and Noble area. But here's just a couple of them. This one's Norman and Ashley Bernard sent this
No.
one in.
Hey, Cassie, you're not on.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. So we'll get that figured out, control room. Let's get that right, okay? All right, let's get back to it here. Let's come back to Links 3, then we'll check in with Cassie. Let's go to Links 4. We've got a bunch of these pictures, and this is it. This is one from Norman here, from Ashley Barnard, and you know, that's larger than golf ball. It's got spikes on it. That'll do tremendous amount of damage to a roof, to cars, and we all know what happened on April 28th. Look at that shot from Don Fox. That's from Noble, southeast of Norman. Look at the fingers on that. Yeah, that would hurt. Yeah, that could kill you. I mean, these are moving at 80 to 90 miles per hour, right? It's a fastball, except it's falling from above or it's horizontal with the wind, and these are dangerous. These can be very, very dangerous for sure, okay? All right, so let's go back to Links 3 and to talk about what's going on. Okay, here's the inflow notch with that. Area of circulation is kind of up in here now. And, you know, it's all going to OBU. It's all going to Shawnee and Tecumseh. Let's kind of back out of this just a second here and show everybody at home kind of the big view. We have kind of two clusters of thunderstorms. Here's the good news. The storms up north are not severe, okay? They're strong with some gusty winds, lightning and thunder. Sure, you might have some small hail up in Noble County going into Pawnee County, but these have weakened a lot. K County, yeah, some general rain, a little bit of thunder, lightning, gusty winds. That's about it. All right, so let's come south now, and we're talking about Guthrie, not severe anymore. That storm near Lazy E, going to Cushing, going to Avery, going to Stillwater, not severe. The only severe storms we have are in eastern Oklahoma County, going into Lincoln County, Pottawatomie County, and then from there down to southwestern Pottawatomie County, which will end up in Creek, Okfuskee, and Seminole County. Okay, you folks in Welty and Okemah, way down here, it's coming. All right, notice how it's starting to line out just a bit. We're getting this line, and it's beginning to bow, and that's going to ramp up your wind speeds and your wind velocities. Look at that shot there. Who's that shot from? Let's go to Valcaster, and he is in the thick of it. Visibilities are almost nothing. Val, what are your winds right there? Give us an update on what's going on with that.
Okay, so David, we had, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 minutes ago, it got a lot windier. We started getting hail up to about quarter size. Every now and then we're getting sporadic hail and winds of up to 50 miles an hour. Right now the wind is kind of slacked off to about 35 to 40, but we're moving northeast now. Core, I think the mezzo is still just to our north up there. But anyway, sporadic hail and 50-mile-an-hour winds, David, on Highway 9. Back to you.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, crazy wind now. Again, you know, not 100 miles per hour, but 50, 60 miles per hour from time to time. We're still watching the area of spin. And, wow, look at that, right over Hera, just north of Hera. Wow.
Yeah, that continues to come up. There's an area that's kind of lunging out north of Hera.
Right. Is that Vaughn that's in Luther?
Yes.
Okay. Vaughn's in Luther, and look at this spin right here. Let's go back to Links 3 control room, and here's Horseshoe Lake. All right, area of spin. Again, this is a little tiny mesocyclone on the leading edge of this gust front right here. Right here. Look at the couplet. No doubt about it. Okay, so that's going to Vaughn, and wow. Okay, so there's Vaughn right there on I-44, and this is lifting to the northeast right here. That's the area of spin. It's really almost a bookend vortex.
Yeah, this is going to be the threat now all the way through eastern east of I-35.
Yeah, we've lost the one mesocyclone, the one big supercell that we had earlier that produced the tornadoes, live on News 9 with Val and Tom and Amy. Unless something develops out ahead of the line, now we're going to be dealing with a solid line of thunderstorms that will from time to time ramp up, and you get that. And what I don't like about these is that, I don't like any of them, is that these ramp up quickly, they'll produce a tornado, they'll do damage, and then they're gone. It's like the El Reno tornado a couple years ago, right? Just a horrible deal. And we were on it, and we were live, and we were like, this is happening right now, right now, right now. You know, News 9 tornado warning, and boom, it happened. But the warning time can be so short on these because they go from nothing, like right there, to something. And how long has that been? It's been 15 minutes.
Yes, 15.
So from 15 minutes, we go from, we just have a southwest wind to we have a couplet now developing here. Okay, so that is a problem. That is a problem right now. And that's moving northeast. So let's kind of back out just a second here. And Vaughn is on I-44. And look at radar. That looks like garbage as far as velocity goes. We're looking for a big hook, right? You don't see that in there. It looks like rain coming at you. That's why a live radar, our live radar, is so valuable when we're looking at these events and these storms. That's going to try to go up towards Chandler, up into Lincoln County. All right, so I just want to point out, Canadian County, a little bit of light rain, some moderate rain, heavy rain back near El Reno, but none of this is severe, okay? And behind this line, it's nothing crazy at all. And again, this is the main show now with the Bow Echo here. All right, that's the Bow Echo that is beginning to develop. It's a linear line of storms, but at the same time, you can certainly get damaging winds in here. And your winds are going to be right here.
Yeah, within the tornado warning, there's nothing too tight as of right now.
No.
Over Lake Thunderbird, near Stella.
No, it's tighter to the north up into Oklahoma County, where there's no tornado warning for eastern Oklahoma County. There's not, but it is still an area we need to watch. So there's nothing down here that's too scary right now. There is an area of spin. Yes, it's right here coming in on Stella. It's on the north finger of Lake Thunderbird coming in on Stella. It's going to go to it's going to go to Twin Lakes. It's going to go to Shawnee. Go ahead.
David, they are going to put a tornado warning now for that circulation north of Hera.
Okay, that's what we were just talking about. So let's come back north. And Vaughn is up here. Let's get an update. And this is going to be it right here. All right, so Justin, you have Vaughn in? Let's go to Justin. Excuse me, Justin. Let's go to Vaughn. Thank you. Let's go to Vaughn and get an update. And Vaughn, this is going to be 6 miles to your southwest. Exact location. Look at our next gen live, and it's moving off to the northeast. So, yeah, and it is definitely spinning, Vaughn. It's definitely coming up, and I mean quickly. Go ahead, give us an update as you look back to your south.
Yeah, we're on I-44 here. We sat at the Jones-Luther northern little kink. It kind of died out a little bit, and then that southern one that's at Hera now has kind of strengthened. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 177 south and get a look at it, David, because those little things are really hard to chase, but it's important we be on top of them. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, great job. And again, Vaughn, if this occludes anymore, it might try to come in behind you. So be thinking of a turnaround or an exit or whatever, at least a place to pull over and stop, because it's really trying to lift to the north. But right now, we'd have to say it's going to maybe as far back west as Wellston, between Wellston and Warwick, and maybe as far east as Chandler. All right, I'll show you that track coming up. Okay, let's go to Links 3, then we'll go to Links 4 on a storm track. There's the area of spin.
It's Luther Road and Britton Road.
Okay, got it. Luther Road and Britton. All right, there's Luther Road, there's Britton Road. And yeah, it's just a little farther south and east?
Now, yeah, just a little, it's approaching there.
Yeah, okay. So it's at Hera Road. We can say Hera Road?
Yes, now it is. Yeah, between Luther and Hera. That's the latest 1 minute scan there of our.
Yeah, of our live. Okay, so now it's coming in on Hera Road. It's right here, area of spin. And let's lapse this. You'll see, look how it goes from nothing right there. You're thinking, that looks like something? Yeah, that does. That is going to be the new tornado warning. All right, so there it is. Tornado warning now for eastern Oklahoma County. All right, crossing Hera Road. And from there, I think it's going to go to Warwick. I think it's going to Warwick for sure. Okay, let's go to Links 4, and we'll do a storm track on links 4. And the circulation's right here. Cassie, perfect. And Wellston, 838. Bellcal Lake, 848. Chandler, 850. This is a tornado warning. If you live in this box, right, if you live in far eastern Oklahoma County, it's going to cross 102. It's going to go on or just east of Wellston and over to Chandler, and Warwick is right here. Warwick disappeared on us, but it is right here.
And David, there is a weakness on CC that popped up right where the circulation was north of Hare there.
Okay.
On TLX.
Okay, let's take a look at it here. Okay, so there's area of spin. We'll take a look at that. Lifting north. What's the speed on that? Are we still looking at 35 to 40?
I went 40.
Yeah, okay. It's moving, folks. So right here, area of spin. There's a kink right here. And that's going to basically go on or just east of Wellston, the way it looks. Might go to Wellston. It's not varied at all on its line. Yeah, it's going to try to go to Wellston. Okay, let's turn on Vaughn just real quick on that shot. What do you see on CC? Anything? Oh, yeah, there is a little negative, isn't there?
There is. And that would be Hara, basically Hara Road and Wilshire.
Okay.
Was that last scan.
It did. Good catch, Justin. Great catch. Let's go back to links 3. Let's take a look at that.
And now that's actually, let me switch it back. That's actually a little bit further north now.
Yeah, but
and it's actually a little more intense as far as the negative value. Right on county line.
Vaughn believes he saw power flashes too.
Okay, all right, folks. This might, yeah, it's probably on the ground then. It doesn't look like it's a very strong tornado just because of the reflectivity coming back, but this is becoming a negative debris signature. So we're going to have to say the tornado was probably on the ground, crossing out of Oklahoma County, Cleveland County, excuse me, no, Oklahoma County into Potawatomi and Lincoln County. Did I get my bearing straight there?
Here we go. There, it's right at Hara, or Potawatomi Road and Britton Road, just south of Britton Road. And I'll zoom it out. It's moving into Lincoln County.
Lincoln County right now. Okay, yeah, tornado on the ground. It's for sure going to be on the ground. And look, it just keeps ramping up.
Yeah, and it's moving very slowly. You can tell it's moving slowly, and it is continuing to pick things up and loft it into the air.
Yep, tornado on the ground. Okay, this is going to be tornado warning. It's on the ground. Negative CCs are what we're looking for. This is showing you debris in the air. Now, what happens is, as you get bigger debris and it gets higher in the sky, you'll start to see it get down here in the blues, okay? We're not there yet, but it's definitely, it's coming down. It's going from this to this. It just keeps getting down the scale here.
Show you our shear rate on our live at its location now.
Yeah, there it is. Yep, so it's east 1000 Road and approaching east 1000 Road and south 3310 Farm Road, okay? And that's going to be a tornado warning, and that's the tornado, okay? And if we could take a look at CC, if we could just do one of those.
Yeah, we're going to go for it.
In the horizontal?
Yep.
See what it looks like?
I want to show you it on velocity really quick so you can see the location. But then if you take a look at it on our live, you can see where it actually is.
Right, right. So tornado's right here. It's going to be a little bit east of this, but just by half mile. It's going to cross 102, okay? And then from there, it's going to keep moving off to the northeast. And right now, it's moving north-northeast. It's not moving like this. It's moving north-northeast. So tornado warning now for far western Lincoln County. Did it weaken some? It looks like it might have weakened and split, or there's been a little bit of something occluded and lift to the north.
Here, I'll lapse it.
Look at SRV. Watch right here.
It almost split into two, yeah.
Two mesos now. Okay, and then right here's Wellston, right? Okay, so tornado warning for you folks in Wellston and east of Wellston. Here comes Vaughn, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles southwest of Wellston, moving northeast at 40. It'll be there within 10 minutes. Okay, let's go to Vaughn Castor. He's going to be southwest. There's Warwick. And Vaughn, it looks like we had debris in the air. Looking at debris detector, looking at correlation coefficient. So no doubt about it, Vaughn, looks like we had at least a brief, may have been on the ground for a couple of minutes, probably was a weak tornado, and it looks like it might have weakened just a bit. And Vaughn, we might actually have 2 mesocyclones now developing. They're small, Vaughn. They're small, but they're headed towards Wellston and just barely east of Wellston, and you're right in the path. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're 2 miles south of the turnpike on 177, coming up right now to 950 Road. So we're going to try to find a hill here, look back to our west and southwest, David. Earlier we did see what we thought was possible power flashes while we were on the turnpike just to the west of the 177 exit, the Wellston exit. So for sure there was probably a tornado on the ground here. We're going to get a better visual right here momentarily here, David. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job there, Vaughn Castor. And Vaughn, again, is on the north side of this. Let's go back to links 3, and here it is. It's right here. Tornado, and we think it's been on the ground. Vaughn had power flashes, and then we had debris lofted in the air by looking at radar, and that, again, is lifting off to the northeast. Here's Vaughn, and it's going to go right on top of Vaughn, and he'll be right there. Boy, it is moving. The thing is hauling. It's hauling right now. Okay, so tornado warning now. Oh, pardon me.
And the tornado warning for East
Oklahoma
Norman
County,
has expired.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the area down south. We said that circulation had died. Okay, let's go back to Vaughn. He has power flashes to his southwest. Go ahead, Vaughn. Power flashes. Tornado continues, probably on the ground. Go ahead. Okay. Well,
I'm going to say probably 3 miles to the east of 170. I mean, to the west of 177. Excuse me. Still trying to find a hill up here, David, to get a trees where the trees are not blocking our view. So I'll get back with you as soon as we do find a hill here.
Okay. Yeah.
Back to you.
Yep. I get it.
David,
yep.
You talked about 2 areas of spin. We have 2 areas that we may have debris.
I just saw it.
Do you see that?
Yeah. Let's go back to links 3.
One area that we may have had debris, and then split into 2.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, there we go. So 2 debris balls, or debris being lofted in the air, okay, right here. One crossing 102. They're going to be, again, looking at velocity data, they're going to be fairly weak tornadoes, EF zeros or EF ones, but strong enough to get velocity up high enough that we can see it in the air. 2 mesocyclones, 2 tornadoes on the ground at the same time. Welcome to Oklahoma.
Within a mile of each other.
Within a mile. Yeah. Wow. Sioux City. One meso with 2 separate areas of spin. Crazy. Okay. So there's an area of spin, probably debris lofted. Debris lofted there. I still think they're still, dangerous tornadoes. But nonetheless, they're lifting northeast at 40, 45. Shear rate just has a large area of spin right there. And again, we probably have 2 tornadoes on the ground right now. And if you live in Wellston or Warwick, you need to go to your safe spot. Lowest level, center part of the house, you got to go there now, okay? And as of right now, it's not a violent tornado, but that can change. Or it's not a strong tornado, or that can change by looking at reflectivity, by looking at velocity data, and then by looking at debris aloft. It doesn't appear to be an extremely strong tornado or 2, but it is what it is. And we think we have 2 tornadoes on the ground right now, headed up towards Vaughn. Okay, let's kind of back out of this just a second. Let's talk about the metro, what's going on a little farther north. And let's go back to reflectivity just to...
Yeah, that area north of Luther does have an area of circulation too, just north of Route 66. It's not as intense as what's going on in Lincoln County.
Yeah, right. Right in here? Yep.
Yes.
Right. Light rain back in the Edmond area, across Oklahoma City, and a little heavier pockets of rain, El Reno and Mustang. But the big show is to our east, right? The big show is to our east. Now, all right, other severe storms coming in on Pauls Valley. Let's quickly talk about that, and Hennepin and Wynnewood. And winds down here, there's a little area. Winds down here are going to be 60 to 70. Tom's down there. Tom Pastrano, he's been all over the world today. And Justin, Tom have anything?
Not really. He's in a bad area right now.
Okay. All right, a little bit of hail down here, but small hail. And these storms are severe, but they're marginally severe. Winds 50 to 60.
Val has quarters.
Okay, Val has quarters. We'll come back to Val. And again, that's headed towards Davis, Sulphur, Falls Creek. Eventually, it's going to Ada. All right, then we have a little bit of a break. And then as you get further north, the storms are obviously severe up here with that tornado warning continue. All right, let's get to Val Castor. He has quarters, and we'll get back on that tornado warning. Stay with us here. Val, go ahead. Give me an update.
Okay, so David, we're just a little ways west at Tecumseh here, and we're getting back into quarter-size hail. The winds are picking up from the south. We're getting sporadic gusts of 50, 50 miles an hour from the south with quarter-size hail. So the further east we get, the worse it gets, David. And now visibility is getting so bad, it's really, really hard to drive, very fast at all. But anyway, that's what it is from here. Back to you.
All right, well, hang with it here, Val. Again, Val is on the wind and hail a little farther south, right? We're talking about winds or, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour down here where Val is. Val is now just west of Tecumseh, and that's going to be west of Shawnee. Winds are going to be 50 to 60. Let's go back to Lynx 3. We're looking at 40 to 50. There's a 53 now at Twin Lakes. So the winds are not crazy strong in here, but strong enough, and they could easily ramp back up. But, still, winds are pretty strong. And, again, that's going to be that's an inflow. You were querying inflow winds.
On this side, yes.
Yeah, on the east side. So that's an inflow wind into this thing of 50 to 55. And on the back side, we're getting about the same. But the gust front is quickly moving to the east. Val and Brandon, they are both there. Okay, let's come back to the north and get back up on this thing. And Vaughn is right there. And, okay, there's Vaughn's shot. Here it is. Okay.
You kept talking about Wellston. It's just south of town.
Yeah, well, it's there. Yeah, it is. So, Justin, is Vaughn going back north? Yes. Okay, let's check in with Vaughn. And Vaughn's circulation is going to be about 2 miles to your west-northwest now. And it's going to go on or just east of Wellston between there and Warwick back to your northwest. What do you see when you look back over there?
Yeah, 10-4, we just had another power flash off to the northwest of me just about a minute ago. So we got our winds are starting to get some rain curtains here, some wraparound. So this thing could be on the ground, David. And we're going to get a little bit closer, find out what more is going on inside there. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job there, Vaughn. John, we might have another debris signature. Let's go back to Lynx 3, and it's right here. Is that where we think?
Yeah, that's it. Lines up for sure.
There it is. So this is going to be, really, it looks like another, again, it's the same one. This is going to be
it just shifted, Justin. We got strong winds out of the west. Strong winds out of the west.
Okay, and he's...
Right?
Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yep, we just got a wind shift out of the west at about 50 to 60. Now we got pretty much zero visibility in front of us, Dave. So
okay, he's on the wrap.
It's going to be right ahead of us.
Yep.
Right ahead of us up here.
Yep. Okay, so let's go back to Lynx 3. He has a west wind. He's got a west wind punching his vehicle, a west wind because the circulation around this is counterclockwise, so the winds are being ripped to the east, and then that's why he has a west wind. He's getting the RFD on the east side. And this is going to be a little debris signature. It's not extremely low wind weak, but it's low enough. But it is still going to be, it looks like to me, possibly a weak tornado that is doing some light damage now. We have not had any reports of any damage in here, but that looks like debris that has been lofted that the radar is picking up. So there's Warwick, there's Vaughn, and it doesn't look like much. When you get big pieces of debris that have been lofted 10 to 15 or 20,000 feet up, that color will become blue, right? Because it is serious, and the radar is depicting that we have larger chunks or larger pieces of whatever that it's hit. That's not that strong right now. It's relatively weak as far as radar presentation. Okay, so let's come back to Lynx 4, or we can save that. There it is. Gosh, went right over Vaughn. Went right over him. See the couplet? The bright red and the green, right over Vaughn. Okay, and let's go back to Lynx 3. Let's switch that again, and look at that. It is, it's coming into the eastern sides of Wellston, really between Wellston and Warwick.
It really is. That's Route 66.
60 to 70 mile per hour winds.
The Turner Turnpike now. It's just a mile south of the Turner Turnpike.
Yeah, Vaughn has that. Let's go back to Vaughn. And the couplet is, Vaughn, the couplet is just out your left door. the couplet's right out your left door. What do you think? Give us an update.
Yep. We're getting up at 70-mile-an-hour winds just now. They've went down some right here, but it's blinding rain. You cannot see, but maybe 300 yards in front of you, David. So we're taking a little slow, looking for power flashes. We have not seen any power flashes in the last 3 minutes. That's good news. Back to you.
Yeah, but man, it's as tight as it ever has been on radar. Looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, as soon as we
pretty impressive.
Yeah, as soon as we see some power flashes, which should be pretty quick, we will definitely yell in, David.
Okay. All right. Great job. And yeah, so let's take a look at this. Let's go back to reflectivity here, and there it is on Lynx 3. Vaughn is here, and it's right, it literally is right here in the area of spin. Shear rate puts it over his head. It's actually, you know, it's right here. It's close. I mean, it's literally out his window, but it's right here. There it is. All right, there's Wellston, there's Skyline Drive, the green up against the bright. Let's just query some of this. I'm just curious what this is in there. 77. Yeah, and what's the lightest green?
Let's see.
16. All right, 16, 70. So
a little bit of an imbalance.
Yeah.
He believes he's seeing a little bit of debris now.
Okay.
Hit his truck.
All right, let's get to it. Let's go back to Vaughn now. Debris possibly hitting his vehicle. Go ahead, Vaughn. Yeah, it looks like it's now crossing Highway 66 and I-44 right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, we are getting little pieces of debris hitting us. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not hail. So it's little pieces of debris with this 60-mile-an-hour wind hitting us. So we're gonna trudge on to the north and see what we can find, David. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah. So again, we think we've had a small, fairly weak, low-wind tornado on the ground here for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Now coming into Warwick. If you have any friends or family or whatever that live in and around Warwick, they got to go to the safe spot now. You got to go right now if you haven't already. All right? And then from there, it's going to try to head up towards Bell-Cal Lake. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 3. And here it is. And the kink that you see right here, this little kink right here is where the circulation is. Okay? And radar shear rate is showing just that. There's the couplet right there, showing a low-level lock. Right over, there's Vaughn. He is basically underneath that, and we can kind of tilt this around and show you what it looks like. And this is pointing out where the circulation is and where the mesocyclone is. And there's Vaughn, there's Warwick. Tornado's gonna be right here. Now crossing Highway 66 right now. So it's a mile north of Vaughn. All right, and it's gonna go, if I live in Warwick, I'm in my safe spot for sure. What does CC look like on that? Looking for debris.
I just looked. I don't see much as of right now.
Okay, so maybe it did weaken. Might have weakened some. Okay. There, it's still, yeah, right here. Okay, so
it's
nothing.
Not gone by any means.
No, it's still spinning like a top, but not enough. No debris. Okay, and CC, your yellows have disappeared. It's all uniform now?
I'll show you again. It went away for a bit, and it's still gone.
Okay.
So the last time we had debris at least showing up on radar was several minutes ago, about 5 minutes ago.
And that's it.
Vaughn has power flashes again.
Okay, let's go back to Vaughn. And again, he's still talking about power flashes, so the tornado could still be on the ground, or at least attempting. And if not, we've just got some wind wrapping around the tornado, but let's go ahead and get an update from Vaughn. Vaughn, it's crossing Highway 66, just north of it now by about a half mile.
Yeah, that's where the power flash was, David. I'm coming up on Highway 66 right now, and I'm getting ready to turn east. So that's exactly where the power flash was, David. We got signs now are bent over here at 66, and the wind is picking up at least 80. At least 80.
Okay.
Yeah. This is serious. This is definitely serious. It's just now off to my east now.
Yep, it is.
We're going to get on 66 and head east.
Yep. Highway 66, go east, and your roads will get, they're not great, they're not horrible, but yep. And now the circulation, Vaughn, is a mile to your northeast.
Right on the Turner Turnpike.
It's crossing the Turner, like Lacey said. Crossing Turner right now. There's your tornado. Right there. Okay? So there's Warwick. This is Lincoln County. There's Wellston. There's where the tornado's going to be. Right there. You folks at Bell-Cal Lake, again, you got to go to your safe spot right now. So lots of folks up here. that living around the lake and all that beautiful lake, by the way. Here's Chandler, and right now the tornado is going to be just north of Warwick by a mile, and it's going to be lifting towards Belle-Cal Lake. It might try to go just west of the lake, but not by much. Not by much. So tornado warning continues for Lincoln County, and it's going to Belle-Cal Lake. Let's lapse that just to see what it does for you there. Yeah. It's going to go to Belle-Cal Lake.
Yeah, the warning goes all the way over to Stroud, Davenport, but right now it's definitely moving more of a northerly direction.
Yeah, no. It's going to have to do a complete flip-flop and nope. Davenport's, no, Davenport's way out of it. Now, if something else develops along the line, that could happen, sure. But no, this is going to be lifting to the north. Okay, there it is right there. That's where the tornado is. There's Warwick, the Ioway. Is that what that is?
Yeah, the Ioway Casino, Brown
Okay.
Road 66.
Hang on a second. I'm just trying to picture it. Okay. Oh, hang on. I know where that is. Okay. All right. Yep. All right, so there's Warwick. It's just, yeah, it's on the highway. Okay. All right, so there's where the tornado is going to be. Let's go back to reflectivity, kind of give you the big view. And let's kind of back out just to talk about what's going on. We do have a severe storm now up into Pawnee County. And I want to talk about that. That's going into Osage County. Right, so trackers just keep marching east with the line.
And Vaughn's brother Val and Brandon have been experiencing 50 to 60 as that line comes into the Shawnee area.
Okay, all right, well, let's and also let's keep those guys going east with it. I know we will. And I want to point out out west, just some rains developing here. Thunder, lightning, sure, might have some small hail, but no crazy severe weather out here. It's going to be along this line. Okay, this is going to be the only show that we're dealing with. And I say only because it runs from Kansas to Texas. It's pretty intense. So now it's now moving east of I-35 at 8:45. We still have more rain in Oklahoma City. We'll get more rain coming in tonight. That will continue. But once again, this is moving east at about 40, 45 miles per hour. So let's talk about Pawnee County here real quick. And moving out of, it's over Pawnee now, winds 60 to 70, going to Osage County, going to Winona, going to Hominy, going to Cleveland, going to Pawhuska. Okay, damaging winds. Right now, we're not seeing any spin up there that's too crazy, but it is a severe storm. We got to watch it. Conditions are still favorable for a tornado, no doubt about it. You know how fast the one in Lincoln County spun up. It wouldn't take much for the storm up here to spin up and produce a tornado. A little area right there.
Oh, go, go. There we go.
You see that? A little bit of higher, just went west of Pawnee. Nothing tornadic, but a little area of spin, a little area of shear. Small, not a big deal right now, but we need to keep an eye on it. All right, so let's come back south. Here's our one tornado warning, and we'll check in with Brandon and Val coming up here. So this continues, tornado warning for Lincoln County. This is going to Belle-Cal Lake, and there it's going to Parkland. Parkland. Small little community, but Belle-Cal Lake, it's going to go just about on top of you. Tornado warning, lowest level, center part of the house. Okay? And then from there, it's again, lifting off to the northeast. Unless something develops farther down the line, Chandler looks like they're going to be in pretty good shape. You're going to get some wind in here. Going to get winds 50 to 60 in Chandler, but there's not a couplet right now coming your way. So it's going to be a straight wind. The red is the leading edge of winds 50 to 60 miles per hour. So that's just going to go ripping right through Chandler, and then from there up to Kendrick and Davenport. But there's no area of spin here right now, okay? Area of spin here. It looks like it might have loosened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, compared to especially what it was south of Route 66.
Yeah, okay.
Look at the difference.
Okay, so its circulation is going to be just barely west of Belle-Cal Lake, right there, but it has weakened some. Okay, so that's good news. Let's go a little farther south, and reflectivity here, talk about the storms down here, and they are all severe. And Hank's over here, we have Val over here, we have Brandon, and boy, look at Hank's shot. It looks pretty ominous. Let's get an update from Hank, and he's just on the north sides of Shawnee. And Hank, pretty ominous looking there. Wow. Look at that shot. Lots of wind. Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, David, I'm at the IHOP in Shawnee, I-40. And I was just telling Justin that all of a sudden the winds just ramped up. They were about 30 miles an hour or whatever, and then for about 30 seconds or so, man, they jumped up. They were probably in the mid 60s range. It was actually shaking the truck around a little bit. You can see now they're still probably blowing at least 50, 55 plus. But yeah, there was a pocket there that was, had to be concerned there just for a second. Back to you.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, I'll tell you what, these winds, I mean, they really get going there. So winds are not crazy right there, but still 40 to 50, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, and a little bit of hail, but we got to keep an eye on this bow, this line to the east. So Kelly and Amanda, storms again marching east. Now you guys have another update on some of that damage, horrible hail damage that took place a little while ago down in Norman. Crazy stuff down there for sure.
And that's what we've been checking on since you've been talking, David, is the damage. And most of that is either caused by the wind or the hail, specifically the hail in Norman. In fact, our reporter, Augusta McDonald, is down there and sent us this picture of the hail busting out a windshield.
Norman's seen a lot of action again tonight. Take a look at the street sign down there. Some street signs that were just torn up down there. We saw those street signs on the west side of Oklahoma City near the outlet mall twisting in the wind a little bit earlier as the storm passed through there. So they have some sign damage down in Norman, and we're told, there you go, you can see that. And then, boy, that's a pretty good-sized sign, too.
And you know what? I've heard for some viewers, too, Barbara Weaver, we feel for people like her. She said that she just installed 3 weeks ago 2 new dining room windows from the previous big hailstorm back in April, busted out once again. Just 3 weeks they've been in. So we're hearing stories like that as well.
Yeah, and lightning apparently causing some problems. That's our guess on some of the fires out there. Yukon. We know that there have been power lines in trees. You can see the smoke wafting through the trees down there. That could very easily be power lines tangled up in trees. We heard on the scanner, Choctaw fire. Look at that. Choctaw fire was responding to some power lines in the trees, but that again is out in Yukon. And that fire in Choctaw was on Southeast 18th Street, way out there.
That video coming in from our viewer, Andrew Freihover. He says it was caused by an electrical line that was down in that area. We had fires earlier about an hour and a half ago in Tuttle, then also in East Norman caused by lightning over there, or it could have been wind as well. So not quite sure the cause of that, but regardless, definitely we have some fires around, which brings us to some of the power outages as well. If we're talking about wind and lines down, just want to update you on some of the very latest numbers, OG&E numbers. They went up. Let me refresh.
They've been going up steadily through the evening. At last check, they were up about around 11,000, I think.
Yes, we're at 10,685 customers. This is, well, that hasn't been updated, but just a few more added to that list. There we go.
And most of those are in Oklahoma City. About 6,000. Almost 7,000 those on the west side of Oklahoma City and in Oklahoma City proper. And there have been some others down in Norman, a couple thousand down in Norman.
Yeah, exactly right. 2,000 down in Norman. Let me just, while we take a look at that, I can update us too on some of the rural co-ops, because that's another area that we've been watching. And you know what? A little bit of good news for those in Grady County. 2,049 members without power. Okay, there's a look at some of the co-ops reporting right there. That was close to 10,000 earlier on.
Can we pull up Caddo County, guys? Right next to it in the red there on the left side of it.
Caddo County reporting 4,841. That's okay, I can tell you the number because I have it pulled up here as well. There you go. I'll tell you, how about that? 4,841 members there without power. And then
Caddo County is Anadarko, where we had the report that we believe there was a tornado in town at that one point earlier this evening. They had some tree limbs down there, according to the city manager, Ken Korn.
And then just north of there would be Canadian County, and that they are reporting 2,050 members without power right now. So still quite a few people without power, but a little bit of good news for those in Grady County right now.
And I'll tell you, looking at the big picture, I know that there was a big hail cluster that was headed toward Norman again. And while they got some, they didn't get anything like what they had back in April. Thank goodness. Because as you mentioned, folks are still making repairs from that one.
Where it was so widespread back there in April. Right, so we want to make sure that where the storms stand right now and what we need to be aware of, especially if you need to take cover. So I want to toss it right back over to David Payne for an update on where these storms are now and the severity of them.
All right, guys. Well, here's the deal. They are now east of Oklahoma City, and you know it's crazy though. You go to Norman, and there are still windows that are still covered up with wood and blue tarps and stuff from April. I mean, they just haven't been able to get the windows, and you know, crazy stuff going on. So. What a mess, right? Norman did not need another hailstorm, but you got one not as bad as what you had in April, but still For some of you, yeah, you had larger than golf ball. You had some tennis ball size hail. Now, this is the big view, okay? And we're running from eastern K County, really Osage County now, into Lincoln County, into Pottawatomie County, into Garvin, all the way down to Murray and Carter County, okay? And now western Oklahoma, none of this is severe. A little bit of lightning, thunder, and you might have some very, very, very small hail, but none of this is severe. This is all just a cold pocket of air aloft coming out behind the cold front. But the cold front and the whole ball of wax, as you can see now, is running from Pawnee County, Newkirk, Ponca City, just light to moderate rain, good rains there. The severe storms are in Pawnee County, moving into Osage County. Okay, they're about ready to move out of our viewing area here, but Pawnee right now, winds will be 60, maybe 70. And then we have back in our viewing area, thunderstorms in southern Payne County, Lincoln County, going into Creek County, all right? Bristow, get ready. Olive, Manford, get ready. Down to Welty, Boldy, and Okemah. And that's going to be Ofuskie County there, Okemah, and that is in our viewing area. And that's going to be pushing off to the east through there. JD is a little farther east, down near Wewoka. We have Brandon near Seminole. And again, these storms, again, shoving east now at a pretty good clip, kind of hanging back here a little bit farther to the south. Let's go down south now and get an update from, is Tom able to talk? We'll get an update from Tom. And Tom now is down here east of Hennepin, south of Wynnewood on this line. It's going to Davis and Sulphur. And let's get an update from Tom now. Tom, storms moving east at 40, 45. Winds are going to be at least 50, maybe 60. What have you had here in the last 10 minutes? Go ahead, Tom. Give us an update.
Yeah, that's right. Winds exactly 50 to 60. They've let up a little bit as the initial push has passed us. But we have a sustained wind right now, about 40 to 50. We haven't seen any hail, just a lot of rain, and probably some flooding here shortly. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, great job, Tom. Tom's been all over today. Tom had the tornado earlier today, again in southwestern Oklahoma when this whole thing began, and he was right there underneath that thing when it produced that tornado. So here we go. So tornado warning now?
That one's going to be coming out for the storm that we were looking at along I-40, right where Hank is located.
Yep.
North of I-40.
There it is. Look at the circulation on this now. And we're going to get Val east. We'll get Hank east on this. We'll get Brandon off to the north. And right there, folks, stands out like a sore thumb. That's going to be a tornado warning. Again, this is going to be for northeastern Pottawatomie County. Garden Grove is right here. And that is a strong area of circulation now. And wow, that is really, really
right on
ramped
kind of
up.
what we call the bookend of this big surge of wind.
Yeah, and this is all the red moving to the east. Okay, this line here, that's all an east wind, and it wraps to the north. See that wrap right there? And like she said, it's called a bookend vortex. It's an area of spin, and you'll have these on the north side of an area of bulging wind.
Oh, David, look at the
or
debris.
on the south side.
Look at the debris ball.
Okay, no doubt about it. Okay, wow, okay, now that's going to be a significant tornado. Okay, so tornado warning now. Hank, let's go back to Hank. Let's bring Hank back in here. And Hank, if you can get eastbound and down, let's do it. Tornado with a serious debris ball 3 miles to your northeast, Hank. That's how fast that changed. Serious debris ball now, Hank, to your northeast, about 3 miles. And if you can get on 40, get eastbound. And the debris now being lofted anywhere from 15 to 20,000 feet up. Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, David, we were just sitting here watching the winds and letting them come and watching this velocity cycle. And then about the time Brandon said, hey, this thing's going tornado warned, and that thing wrapped up just east of us. So we're eastbound on 40 now from Shawnee, and it's got to be just a couple of miles away from us. So we should be here in just a couple of minutes if there's anything. I assume it looks like to me it's going to be just a little bit of east or north of I-40 moving off to the northeast, David.
Yep, you're exactly right. It definitely, the debris popped up just along and just north of I-40, it looked like, but no doubt about it, this is a significant debris signature, okay? And Hank's going to be there shortly. Let's go back to Links 3, and we'll take a look at it here. There it is, and that's what I was talking about. When you start to get the larger debris being lofted higher in the sky, you start to see the blues. That is a significant debris that's being put up into the atmosphere. This is not rain. This is looking for debris. Everything else is all rain and hail and everything else, right? It's not reflectivity like normal radar, but that is debris that's been lofted, that's producing damage right now, and it's going to be right along Kings Road.
just north of the community of Johnson.
And yeah, boy, the little small community of Johnson now in Lincoln County, you barely missed a tornado.
Kings Road comes north right out of town.
Yep.
And that the road on the north side is east 1100, I believe it is. It's East 1100 Road.
Okay.
Or Wolverine Road.
Wolverine Road, which is not a great road, but because it's off and on, and that's kind of what you get. But tornado warning now. This is the debris that has been lofted into the sky. This is not, possible tornado. That is the tornado. That is debris being lofted into the sky. So the tornado is going to be just north of Johnson. Okay, let's back out of this just a little bit here, and let's put that into movie mode here. We'll see what this thing did. See when it started to produce that.
And that is the North Canadian River. It's approaching for folks in the area.
Okay, North Canadian River is that little black line in there, right? Follows the county right there. Okay, that's the Canadian River. And it's going right up Kings Road. It's almost moving north-northeast. It has really, really lifted to the north. It's occluded big time, but it's on the north end of that bookend. So, wow. So that is the tornado. Did you see that?
Yes.
Debris signature. So the radar, that shield you see, the radar, again, you only see this on News 9, is pointing out that we now have debris lofted. And that's two ways we can do this. Sometimes we just go with the colors, and then sometimes we go with both. And now the radar, this is saying, again, that's what we use, is it's showing us we have debris lofted. And we knew that, right, because of that. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So tornado continues on the ground. Let's back out of this. But I want to point out this. Here's OBU right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles northeast of OBU. The little small community of Garden Grove. It's going to be just to your west and northwest. And it is moving away from Garden Grove. I'm a little worried about Prague. All right, and it looks like it's going to try to pass either on or just west of Prague, between Prague and Meeker. And I'm going to say it's going to go maybe 2 miles.
There, I'll put it, elapse it.
Yeah, maybe a mile or two west of Prague. Okay, folks, tornado warning for Prague. If you're in Prague right now, I think Centerview's okay. You folks in Centerview, but if you're in Prague, you need to go to your safe spot. That's going to be lowest level, center part of the house. Debris confirmed in the air. Tornado confirmed on the ground. Lofting debris into the sky up to 20,000 feet up, maybe a little higher. And that is going towards Prague or just west of Prague. Okay? So, again, this is going to be, it's moving out of Pottawatomie County back into southeastern Lincoln County.
I just want to point out for the storm in northern Lincoln County that we were talking about that had produced the tornado earlier, that is completely weakened. The warning is still continuing, but that's completely weakened. So that's why we're focusing on this one.
Yeah. Talking about down south. Go ahead.
And Hank had tree debris on 40. So it crossed 40 there with the winds.
Okay, there we go, yeah. And here's the deal, when that debris gets aloft, you can always count on that where the tornado was actually behind the debris, because the radar, that debris is tilted. And does it look like anything on RHI, anything?
I'll take a look here in just a second. I was just looking at some of the reports from northern Lincoln County. I just mentioned that has weakened, but there was significant damage to a barn on 177 just south of Route 66. So that was the tornado that Vaughn was on just a little bit ago, northern sides of Lincoln County.
Okay.
Did do damage. We saw that on radar.
Yeah. So today, we've had, I don't know, I'm guesstimating overall between what Val and those guys saw and what we had coming into Anadarko, probably a half dozen tornadoes maybe today, give or take.
Yeah, Tom, real quickly, down in Davis on 35 has 60 to 65 mile per hour winds.
Okay, all right, and I'll check back in with him. Okay, so the tornado, it's going to continue, and it looks like it's still on the ground. Let's go back to CC here. Boy, this thing is really lifting northeast now. Let's go back to CC and see if it still has debris lofted.
Okay, I'm heading there.
No, you're fine. And it's right here on the north end. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely weakened. It's still there though. This is still debris falling out of the sky, and debris that's been lofted. Okay, so Hank's right here, and there's where that is, and that's again just north of Hank. Just north of Hank. Okay, let's go back. Let's back out of this just a second. Oh wow,
that's what it did.
Yep. See how the colors ramped up right here? Look at that. That was significant damage there. Significant damage now. And there are homes out here. There's ranches. There's farmhouses. There's all the above, just west of Johnson. A lot of folks live out here. You're thinking, really? Yeah, because you're close to Shawnee. You're close to I-40. There's a lot of farms in here, so we're going to have damage. We're going to have damage over there. Okay, let's go back to Hank and get a quick update from Hank. And Hank, it looks like the signature is weakened just a bit. Not quite as impressive as what it was. And the hook's not as strong either. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, we are getting off 9A, the Earlsboro exit, to try to make our way back towards Johnson. When we were coming on I-40 just southwest of Johnson, we saw leaves and sticks across the highway. So it looked like that was a debris path that came right across I-40, and that was just southwest of Johnson. And so we're headed north towards Johnson now. It should be directly to our north. We didn't see any power flashes, but it's really soupy out here and really foggy. So, you know, that doesn't mean just because we didn't see a power flash that there wasn't one close to us. The wind switched around pretty quick. We got that real fast ramp up that we were talking about there at Shawnee. And then it's coming from the west, and then we started to go east. We got a really strong south wind, so we were right there on the south edge of the wrap up. And then that's where we saw, you know, leaves and limbs and stuff that had been dropped across I-40. So we're going to try to make our way north a little bit and see if we can get back up here to it. We've heard some reports of damage in Johnson, so we may make our way over there to that as well. Back to you. Yeah,
no doubt about it, Hank. You're going to find some damage here in just a few minutes. So Val is on the north side. Val's going to keep tracking this thing, and then Hank's going to find this damage that's back to the southwest. So getting a report, like you said, maybe a church near Johnson that's been hit or damaged. So we have damage. We knew we had damage with looking at radar. We had debris aloft, and that's not good. And that was a significant amount of debris being lofted. It was really, really high. And it takes a lot to carry boards and shingles and things like that. It takes significant velocity to do stuff like that. And that's exactly what was going on. Wow. All right, so it's now, let's see, there it is, and it's still there. Val's headed to Meeker, but it has weakened quite a bit. And that's the problem with these spins that we get along these leading edges, right? They ramp up. I mean, look, there was nothing south of I-40. So it went from nothing to a tornado on the ground at I-40 to, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, 6 in length?
Yeah.
6 mile tornado
in about
path?
10 minutes.
In about 10 minutes. Went from nothing, no indication of anything really, except it was in the favorable area, to producing a tornado that did significant damage to either homes or trees or whatever. We know at least we have some damage, and now it's gone. Okay, so let's kind of back out of this view here. And again, we've got these two areas now that we're watching carefully. Out west, just light rain, some heavy downpours. Nothing crazy, but more light rain coming back in Oklahoma City. Severe storms now are running from Osage County down through Pawnee County, Lincoln County, all the way down to Ada. The line is moving again east-northeast at about 40, 45 miles per hour. So by 10 o'clock, these are going to be on the eastern fringe of our viewing area, another hour away. They're going to be moving away from us. But I want to point out, no severe weather in the west. I don't think we'll have any more severe weather for Oklahoma City. We might have some gusty winds. And does Data crank up anything overnight tonight? Anything short term? As far as that goes. But anyway, okay. And
no,
then
heavier storms kind of crank up around midnight here. That comes in. We still get wind, hail, as far as
it does here still.
It does, yeah. Still,
okay.
nothing out of control.
Okay, yeah, we're not. The tornado threat's over for Oklahoma City at all, and in Norman and for the metro. This is going to be moving in overnight as the storm system itself gets in here. So some hail and some wind. Still might have a little severe weather, but the main tornado threat is along this line. Okay, that continues to push into our eastern viewing area. Okay, so let's talk about the tornado warnings now. Well, the northern one, we've dropped that. That was one we were tracking earlier. And now we have the southern one down here where Hank is located and Val, and that's even weakened. But it's going to go just west of Prague. It's right here. I don't see it. There it is right there. It's right here. Like we said earlier, maybe a mile or two west of Prague.
Yeah, just almost straight line winds at this point.
Yep. Damaging winds. What are the winds in that? That's got to be 70. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
63. Okay.
67.
Yeah, okay. And that's going to Arlington, which is just up the highway from Prague. Okay, so damaging winds. We still have a mesocyclone, but it has weakened. The damage is back down here where Hank is. And Hank's going to find some more damage. Okay, so damaging winds, though. Seminole, Bowlegs, Cromwell, Welty, Okemah, okay? And this is Okfuskee County, right? And this is in our viewing area, down to Holdenville, which is in our viewing area, where Wetumpka is, and Holdenville, and once you get farther south down here near, there's Wewoka. And the winds along this line are running at about 50 to 60. I haven't seen anything stronger than that.
As far as official reports go, no.
I mean, even velocity data. I know we're getting away from the radar, but I don't see anything too crazy in there. I don't see anything too out of control. All right, so here in Oklahoma City, again, this is all obviously well east of us. All right, so Tom has got some pretty good wind going on down south. Let's check in with Tom. He's down here west of Sulphur, and get an update for our friends down in, again, we're talking about Garvin County, also down into Murray County. And Tom, give us an update on what you've had down there. And your storm's still pretty intense now. It's just now beginning to move into Sulphur. Go ahead, give us an update, and Falls Creek as well.
Yeah, I'm coming into Davis right now, and you know, the initial line we had about 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, and then as the line went through, it calmed down a little bit, but then we got some really fierce, up to 70 mile per hour winds right in the middle of the line. Right now, we are seeing some sporadic flooding, nothing too serious, just a lot of ponding of the water on the street. Lots of lightning, and the wind has subsided finally. Back to you.
Great job, Tom. And Tom, again, covering southern Oklahoma right now. We're talking about just south of Pauls Valley and down towards Davis. Yeah, moving into Davis right now and Sulphur. Some pretty good storms down there. Winds, there you go. Davis looking quiet tonight with some wind and hail moving through. But as of right now, no tornado threat down south. Okay, so let's go back to Link 3, and that's a good shot. Let's show all the warnings here. By the way, these are all the severe thunderstorm warnings running from Osage County. You see our trackers lined up, right, all the way from north to south with this whole line, just a tremendous amount of storms. Moving off to the east. Okay, and also, can we make sure we get that video place put in at some point? Okay. All right, so again, the whole line, the main line moving east. We have all of these storms being severe. Then we have that tornado warning that's still in effect, but that is almost expired because the tornado threat with that it's still there, but man, it's really, really low. Let's go back to that. Real quick, before we do that, let's talk about central Oklahoma. Let's lapse this real quick.
Okay.
And if you want, maybe we can take the radar back to normal. Are you still using live farther east?
Yeah, I can do that.
That's fine, whatever. I'm just...
I'll get it set up.
Lots of rain. Well, the rain, I'll say that, the rain's been good. Rain, I haven't even looked at Mesonet. I can't...
It's been over an inch in most areas where the heavy storms fell. The flash flood warning for Oklahoma County is canceled.
Sure.
As far as the Mesonet goes, Chickasha 1.8, and one of the big winners as far as rainfall goes was Apache at 2.4. Okay, let's take Lynx 4 here. And these are today's rain. And here in the metro, anywhere from an inch to, 3/4 of an inch. But look, there's your 1.82. And, oh, wow, yeah, 2.48, you're right there. I know, northwestern Oklahoma, you got rain today, but not enough. 3/4 of an inch in Guyman. But the heaviest rain is where these storms have been the strongest, and this heavier rain is just going to keep marching east overnight tonight. So this whole area, we see all the zeros, will fill up from 1 to 2 inches of rain overnight tonight. But it's been a good rain. Hobart, 1.52. Hollis, I'm sorry, 0. Nothing in Hollis. You got the big goose egg down here. Okay. Let's go back to Lynx 3. Let's talk about that Lincoln County storm. Let's see what it's doing on velocity data here. And yeah, it's still there, but yeah, it's nothing crazy. It's a little bit of a weakness right in here west of Prague, but
Man, that's a stretch.
Yeah, far cry from what it was on I-40.
Yeah. So this tornado warning, it's going to expire, okay? It's just going to let that one go. Unless it ramps back up. Right now, though, it has not happened. Right now, it has not ramped back up, but this would be a perfect spot for it, right on the north center through the north part of that apex of that bowl right there. It's going to Boley, going to Welty. But again, there's nothing tornadic in here now. There's still a mesocyclone in here, but it's spinning down, not spinning up. So we got to keep a close eye on that. But right now, it's, again, moving off to the northeast. All right, so headed northeast at 40, 45. All right, for Oklahoma City, let's take a look. We'll kind of start you off here in the metro. And light rain in the metro, Edmond, a little heavy rain near Cashion, Four Corners, Piedmont. And, you know, that's it. Light to moderate rain, a little bit of lightning and thunder. You might have some very small hail here later tonight, late this evening and tonight with that. But right now, it's nothing crazy. What's going on to our east is what we're still watching. So the one tornado warning continues for southeastern Lincoln County. I think that's going to be expired. Probably could go ahead and expire it now. But just going to go ahead and let the warning run out. But that's good. But this area, this line, still could produce tornadoes as it, again, continues to move off into eastern Oklahoma. So that, you know, that's our concern still. And this is still in our viewing area. It's just our eastern fringe. Okay, so for Oklahoma City, it's just, again, light rain. Pockets of heavy rain near Greenfield and Thomas, way out here near Roll and Cheyenne, Elk City. Pretty good rains there going on. That's good. Take all the rain we can get out here. Up north, Cleo Springs, Fairview, nice heavy downpours there. And west of Perry, but again, none of this is severe. So what's going on is to the east of us. Cassie, any more pictures coming in from Norman?
We've actually got a ton of pictures that came in from earlier today, starting in Noble.
Go ahead and take her shot in control room.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to links 4. I've got a whole slideshow of all kinds of pictures from Noble and Norman. This one, we can take links 4. Dawn Fox sent this one in, and again, this is Noble, so easily a little over maybe golf ball size hail. She had several of those stones. And Michelle Campbell, this from Norman, again, I would say golf ball size hail, and there's kind of a comparison of an actual golf ball that Leslie Real Rider sent in from Norman as well. And again, more of these coming in from Norman. Just look at the shape of that. Molly Holly sent that one in, and we've got a ton of hailstones that kind of have the same shape. This one coming in from Norman from Ashley Bernard. This one looks a little bit larger.
Wow.
Just call that maybe tennis ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was more isolated for sure. But Fawn Sherry sent that one in, and then we also have some more golf ball size hail from Norman, and Justin sent that in.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So that was a flat tennis ball, but it was a tennis ball for sure. So this is what went through Norman this evening. So this is why, yes, we have more windows blown out in homes and also in cars down in the Norman area. Remember the big hailstorm we had on April 28th of this year. And there are still homes that have not been repaired yet or just recently were repaired. And there's places that are still boarded up, windows are covered up and all that. So crazy. Norman, it has been a rough year for hail in Norman, no doubt about it. Okay, let's go back to links 3. And Justin, has Hank found anything yet? Still looking? And you got him just to the west and northwest? Okay. Okay. Well, because of the radar tilt, that damage might have been obviously farther southwest of Johnson versus, you know what I mean, back by I-40. If you said he had some tree damage at I-40, I would start back there, then maybe just work your way to the northeast, just kind of back and forth and see what we find there. So anyway, okay, so this is kind of the big view on links 3 as far as reflectivity. And the gust front, it's going to Holdenville, now blasting through Seminole. Now, it winds anywhere along this line, right here. See this right here, right there, down to Kanawha, Lake Kanawha as well, down to and west of Ada. We're talking about winds in here, and now we turn on shear rate, which we can look for damaging winds or winds that are spinning or rotating. And a lot of this right now, starting where Val is, down to the south, that's all going to be straight line winds in this line. All the way down, there it is, Kanawha, down to Roth, and that's going to be west of Ada. And the wind's not as strong down here where Tom currently is. So good news, at least for southern Oklahoma. The winds It's still pretty far away from the radar, but don't seem to be as strong, okay, with everything that's going on with that. But pretty good wind now, ripping southeast wind coming into Ada, and your wind's going to change. We got to watch these little areas, though, where you have these bows along the line. Got to keep an eye on those. Okay, so control room, if we can, let's take a look at some of that video, the tornado video that Val and Tom had. Just let me know when you get it queued up, and we'll just show that from earlier today. The tornado video, that one, that works fine. There's the tornado right there. There's the wall cloud spinning like a top, and kind of a ragged tornado being pulled up into the cone, which is actually right there. And then it produced that tornado, big wall cloud. Look how low this is to the ground, just a few hundred feet off the ground. And here comes the second tornado, kind of on the back side of the area of circulation. And that was from Val and Amy Castor right there. We had that live on the air, okay? And let's go back to some other video from Val. Look at the tornado there. Again, not very strong at this point. And let's take a look at some video from Val. Another piece of video from Val, I think, of the broken windshield. And his windshield was cracked again. This is probably number 10 for the year. I'm kidding, but he's had a rough year for hail for sure. And that was down in Norman, but he did crack his front windshield with the hail that was coming down. He had larger than golf ball there, but as Cassie was showing you their pictures, we had at least tennis ball size hail. So we've had some big hail down in Norman. That's long gone now.